नंबर 14 माननीय मंत्री जी श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारामन जी।
So I rise with your permission to move for the leave to introduce a bill to provide for law relating to evidence with respect to bankers' books and to align it with contemporary digital banking practices and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto.
नोटिस टू अपोज इंट्रोडक्शन मिला है माननीय श्री डीएम खातिर आनंद जी से और माननीय श्री मनीष तिवारी जी से। प्रश्न यह है कि विधेयक के पुनः स्थापित करने की अनुमति प्रदान की जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हैं वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में है वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, अनुमति प्रदान की जाती है।
All right, viewers, you just witnessed opposition trying to create ruckus, trying to disrupt as the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, in fact, tried to address the lower house. And with that, we are shifting focus to now what is unfolding right now in Nepal. The city, in fact, in the several cities in southern part of the country remain on edge. This comes in after there were communal violence incidents witnessed in past several days. Now, this started when a communal violence incident took place in Sunsari district. This is where a Hindu procession was. In fact, we understand there were some disruptions that took place from the other community side when a Hindu procession was being taken in Sunsari district. And since then, we have seen over the past few days, communal violent incidents are breaking out in southern part of the country. And as of now, viewers, the southern part in several cities, a curfew has been imposed. In fact, shoot-at-sight orders have also been given to the security deployed in these cities. So Nepal right now remains on edge after days of witnessing communal violence in several parts of the country, especially southern part of the country is where it started with Sunsari district, wherein there were reports of disruption which came to light with regards to a Hindu procession that was taking place. And now we are looking at that several disruptions taking place and the country southern part continues to remain on edge. In fact, viewers, on this we also spoke to the former Prime Minister of Nepal, Jhala Nath Khanal, on the communal violence unfolding in the country. Take a listen to this exclusive conversation as he gives us details on what exactly triggered the communal clashes and what is the situation on the ground right now.
Some days before in Sunsari district, there has been a kind of violence was erupted there between two communities, particularly Hindu community and Muslim community, and it was flaring up, particularly in the Tarai region in some districts. But all political parties in Nepal address this by publishing their statement one after another. Then slowly and gradually the situation is coming down and a new situation is coming up. The administration also becoming more serious, particularly the government, present government actually did not take this issue seriously in the beginning, but now it's taking more seriously. That's why the situation is calming down now.
Right. Jhala Nath Khanal, if you could also describe to us what is the situation looking like in Nepal particularly. We understand that curfew has been imposed in multiple areas. What is the government there trying to really do? They're imposing curfews, but the response which came in from the current Prime Minister was also quite delayed. It came in at a time when unrest had already spread to multiple areas.
Yes, it has been cleared up in some districts in the Tarai region. But at the same time, Nepal is a multi-religious, multi-ethnic, multicultural, multi-linguistic country. And since a long time, there was very good harmony among all the people. There was peace, but sometimes it happened. And at this time also, due to some kinds of mistakes or some kinds of prejudice, some kinds of ego within some circle of people, it erupted. Violence was erupted, and it cleared up to some mistakes. Now it's going to be controlled now.
All right, dear. So that's the update we're getting on Nepal violence. And now shifting focus to what is unfolding in Jharkhand right now, where students have been protesting for the past 5 days, alleging that there are irregularities taking place in Jharkhand public examination. Now we have seen that students have hit the streets. They're demanding a CBI investigation takes place into the kind of irregularities which have been flagged in the service examination. Not just that, they're also demanding cancellation of the examination and sweeping reforms to be brought in the state's recruitment tests. This comes in as hundreds of students for the past 5 days have been on the streets and continuing their indefinite protest, alleging that large-scale irregularities have taken place in the 14th JPSC examination as well as other state recruitment tests. With the torchlight march now also taking place through Ranchi, the protesters have now escalated their agitation as well. In fact, this comes in as the protests continue to escalate in Ranchi as well. In fact, Veer Bhadra also joining us now to give us more details on what exactly is unfolding right now. Now, Veer, we are looking at these protests now going on for the past 5 days. They're continuing their agitation. They've flagged all the irregularities that have come out to light in the public service examination. तो क्या आप हमें बता सकते हैं छात्रों की क्या मांग है इस समय, वो क्या अपनी मांग दे रहे हैं सरकार से? Veer, can you hear us? Right. In fact, we'll try and connect with my colleague Veer Bhadra there. But right now, viewers, this is the focus story on Republic TV that for the past 5 days, students in thousands of numbers, they've hit the streets protesting the irregularities in the service examinations in Jharkhand. In fact, Veer is back with us. So, Veer, हमें बताएं ये जो छात्र हैं पिछले 5 दिनों से प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, इनकी क्या मांग है सरकार से इस समय?
रांची के जयपाल सिंह स्टेडियम में आज लगातार 10वें दिन जो है छात्र अनशन पर बैठे हुए हैं। इनकी मांग है कि जो जेपीएससी और जेएसएससी के एग्जामिनेशन में जो है पेपर लीक का मामला, इन लोगों के द्वारा आरोप लगाया जा रहा है कि इसमें जो है धांधली किया जाता है और पैसों के बलबूते पर जो अयोग्य छात्र हैं वो इसमें जो है पास हो जाते हैं। इसको लेकर इनकी मांग है कि जो इस एग्जामिनेशन को लेकर इनकी मांगे हैं कि जब तक सरकार की तरफ से कोई सख्त कदम नहीं उठाया जाता है तब तक जो है इनकी ये अनशन अनवरत चलती रहेगी।
जी बिल्कुल, और जैसे कि आपने बताया पिछले 5 से 10 दिनों से ये जो बच्चे हैं ये संघर्ष कर रहे हैं, ये अपनी डिमांड्स रख रहे हैं सरकार के सामने। सरकार की तरफ से इस पर कोई जवाबदेही जो बनती है उसकी तरफ से कोई भी रिस्पॉन्स अभी आया है?
नहीं, अभी तक सरकार के तरफ से इस पर कोई रिस्पांस नहीं आया है और इसी को लेकर इन लोगों में आक्रोश है कि लगातार आज 10वें दिन ये छात्र जो है अपने खर्चे के बलबूते पर यहाँ पर जो है, जबकि सभी बेरोजगार हैं, उसके बावजूद ये लोग लगातार धरना पर बैठे हुए हैं और किसी भी तरीके से जो है इस अनशन को जारी रख रहे हैं। क्योंकि यहाँ पे जिस तरीके से सैकड़ों की संख्या में छात्र अलग अलग जिलों से यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं और उसमें जो है उन लोगों पर कोई ना कोई खर्च आ रहा है और इसको लेकर इन लोगों में एक आक्रोश है कि क्यों नहीं अभी तक सरकार जो है हमारी मांगों को सुनी है और सरकार यहाँ पर जो है एक भी बार इन लोगों के हालचाल पूछने के लिए या इस मामले पर किसी भी तरह के संज्ञान लेने के लिए यहाँ नहीं आई है।
ऑलराइट वीर, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे साथ जुड़ के लिए और इस सारी जानकारी हमें देने के लिए। जो झारखंड में स्टूडेंट प्रोटेस्ट हैं, दे स्टिल कंटिन्यूइंग वियर्स एंड वी गेटिंग यू ऑल द अपडेट्स ऑन द ग्राउंड ऑन दैट एज वेल। एंड नाउ शिफ्टिंग focus, a shooting incident has now taken place in the United States at Idaho. This is where about 3 people have been killed and several others were injured. And in this entire incident, the shooter also shot himself after shooting about 3 others. Now, what was the motive behind this shooting and the circumstances which led to the shooting incident? That continues to remain a point of investigation. Here's more on this. Take a look.
Right now, people are running and everything. Look at this fucking white motherfucker. He got fucking serious fucking gun. Oh, no, he got a motherfucking. Yeah, another guy. Oh, yeah.
You heard everybody running, screaming, shooter, active shooter, and we had to stop because I didn't want to run over all the employees.
And I see a gentleman walking from a white vehicle to another vehicle with a pistol in his hand.
I ducked behind a white car just to have some sort of coverage.
Once in the roundabout, you heard everybody running, screaming, shooter, active shooter, and we had to stop because I didn't want to run over all the employees. And then we heard some shots, boom, boom, boom.
Sitting there, and then I was playing on my phone, and I heard a couple pops. We were just sitting there, and then I was playing on my phone, then I heard a couple pops, and I look up, and I see a gentleman walking from a white vehicle to another vehicle with a pistol in his hand. And he popped one shot at the vehicle, and that's when I ducked down, told my 2 little brothers to duck down, and then periodically I would peek up just to see where he was kind of at, just, you know, and then I threw myself across the front just to, you know, take up space, so if anything did come flying, you know, I was there.
As I was running, I faced the shooter head on, and he pointed the gun at me, and I ducked behind a white car just to have some sort of coverage. I saw a pistol on a gun case. I'm guessing that was his, and I didn't have anything to defend myself, so I grabbed the gun and I pulled it back. It was jammed, so I just felt helpless, and I saw the truck in front of me, so I ran as fast as I could, and I just threw it, got in the car, and we left.
Yesterday at 2:29 p.m., multiple 911 calls were received by the Twin Falls City Communications Center. Dispatchers could hear screaming and reports of gunshots in the background. Officers from our department, along with officers from local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies, all converged to the incident. Fire and medical personnel from the Twin Falls Fire Department and Magic Valley paramedics also responded. First responders faced what was described as one of the most chaotic instances a law enforcement officer can face in their career. Law enforcement began to search for the suspect, as well as assisting medical personnel to the scene safely and providing first aid and transporting those in need to our local hospital. Our department has been in constant contact with the in and out management, and they are actively assisting us in the investigation. At this time, we can confirm that there are multiple victims. Based on the information currently available, there are 3 victims that are deceased. 7 others are injured. 2 of those patients have been treated and released. 3 are in stable condition, and 2 are in critical condition.
We want to ensure a thorough investigation. We know that videos and images relating to the incident are circulating widely on social media.
We can confirm that there was an off-duty state trooper and a citizen who actively engaged the suspect by returning gunfire towards him. We want to take a moment and commend the actions of the off-duty officer and this citizen in their heroic action to stop this incident. We believe their actions helped drive the suspect away from the scene, preventing further casualties. We can confirm that in the minutes after law enforcement arriving, and beginning their search for the suspect, we had a second officer-involved shooting. No one was injured in that incident, and the Twin Falls police officer involved in that shooting, his actions are now being reviewed by the Jerome Police Department. More information about that incident will be forthcoming in the days to follow. At this time, we can confirm that the suspect, 24-year-old Chad Williams, is deceased from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The Williams family has been notified, and they are fully cooperating with law enforcement. Their hearts are also broken during this time. Information, direct victims, families, and witnesses and community members to the proper resources. We understand that there are many questions. We do want to highlight that we did have another shooting incident in Twin Falls last night. No injuries were reported in that incident. We can also confirm that this incident is not related in any way to the In-N-Out incident.
All right, viewers, that's all we could pack in this special edition of Live Report with me, Ishita Mitra, coming straight to you from outside Indian Parliament. Don't go anywhere. Coming up after a short break, getting you all the details of how civic apathy continues to take lives in Bhiwandi, Thane, where a woman has lost her life after two-wheeler skids into truck. All the details lined up on the other side. Stay tuned to Republic TV.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi and National Law School Bengaluru.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट अब बताओ स्वाद आया
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore.
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा। सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाए जीरा से MDH का जल जीरा से
असली रिफ्रेशिंग असली स्वाद असली मजा
MDH
अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं then I will have to say Modi ji clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
आपको समझ ना आए तो आप घर जाके गूगल पे आप सर्च कर लेना ये क्या नारा है। वो नारा देते थे वास्ते गुने हुइयां और वो नारा देते थे इतने प्यार से इतनी खूबसूरत तरीके से इस्तीफा मांगते थे कहते थे जब आपसे इस्तीफा भी मांगते थे तो कहते थे कुचू पुचू इस्तीफा दे दो आज हमारा जन्मदिन है।
विपक्ष के आंदोलन को एक समराइज करना चाहूंगा मैं जेनजी के भाषा में 37 दिन तक तो ये जंतर मंतर नहीं गए तो इनको MIA हो गया। MIA क्या है? MIA मिसिंग इन एक्शन। तो 37 दिन तक हमने कुछ नहीं किया तो कुछ तो करना चाहिए। जंतर मंतर तो नहीं जा सकते तो हम जाते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी के आवास के सामने और वहां पर जाके आंदोलन करते हैं।
So these are the three categories: student, idiot, and andhbhakt who follows the idiot. Now.
प्रश्न है कि खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बने जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए मेरे विचार में निर्णय हवालों।
All right, viewers, coming up after the break, parliamentary panel to hold meeting to discuss social media regulation. Google, Meta and X to appear before the panel.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MDH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
जरा सोच के देखिए, आपके पास कुछ ऐसा है जो आपकी दुनिया बदल सकता है। जानते हैं क्या? आपका अपना सोना। सोना क्या नहीं कर सकता? सोना आपको अपने सपनों का घर दिला सकता है, आपके बच्चों का भविष्य बना सकता है। सोना आपकी हर इच्छा पूरी कर सकता है। तो भारत की सबसे बड़ी गोल्ड लोन NBFC मुथूट फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और फिर देखिए सोना क्या नहीं कर सकता। मुथूट फाइनेंस, जहां विश्वास ही परंपरा है। कॉल कीजिए 1-800-313-1212।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, healthy every day.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that, there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized, but you know, we got to smack them a little bit.
The United States has launched airstrikes on Iran hours after President Donald Trump warned Tehran of a strong military response. The strikes mark the first major American attack since Trump paused the bombing campaign last week. Trump had earlier vowed to hit Iran very hard after an Iranian missile attack on an American base in Jordan. Within hours, US forces launched retaliatory strikes, escalating tensions across the Middle East.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that, there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized, but you know, we got to smack them a little bit. Yeah, I think more so that, yeah, because it was another smaller event. But no, they sent 8,000-mile-an-hour missiles at us, and fortunately we had our people operating the greatest equipment in the world, namely the Patriot system. Think of it, 5 missiles going 8,600 miles an hour, big ones, coming right at us, and all 5 were shot down. How about that, right? Pretty good. Only we, nobody else could do that but us, yeah.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Viewers, top headlines. Parliamentary panel to hold meeting on to discuss social media regulation. Google, Meta and X to appear before the panel. Aspirants hold a march in Jharkhand over exam irregularities in the 14 Jharkhand public service exams. Aspirants demand CBI probe. Toll accident claims woman's life in Bhiwandi, Thane. Woman dies after two-wheeler skids into a truck. Pakistan's failed Field Marshal Asim Munir's army opens fire on peaceful protesters in POJK's Rawala court. Communal violence breaks out in Nepal after clashes between two communities. Curfew imposed in many districts. A very good afternoon. We're live and breaking up. Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in. Okay, let's see what is breaking right now. Supreme Court has directed MEA Indian embassies in Ukraine and Romania to immediately ascertain whereabouts of Indian seafarers after drone attack on cargo vessel. Taking up a plea concerning 4 Indian seafarers aboard a cargo ship hit in a drone attack near Ukraine, the court directed the Ministry of External Affairs and the Indian missions in Ukraine and Romania to take immediate steps to gather information on their whereabouts. So huge updates coming in here, viewers, on Republic TV. So the Supreme Court directing MEA Indian embassies in Ukraine and Romania to ascertain the whereabouts of Indian seafarers after drone attack on cargo vessel. The incident comes amid an increase in attacks on commercial vessels operating in the Black Sea. So now the Apex Court is asking the MEA that they should step up the search for the missing Indian seafarers. This is a huge update coming in here on Republic TV, viewers, because 2 Indian seafarers are still missing after the vessel was hit by drones in the Black Sea. Now, the MEA has been in touch with the families, but right now the Supreme Court directing MEA to search for the Indian seafarers. I want to straight go across to my colleague. Chandrakala is joining us, and so is Sarthak. Both my colleagues are joining us right now. Let's go to you, Chandrakala, first, because the MEA has been in touch with families, and now the Apex Court has asked the MEA to really push that search for the missing seafarers. They have said it's high time that they contact other embassies and they really coordinate on this matter.
Yes, in fact, after several such attacks that has taken place in the Black Sea, and of course now that 2 Indian seafarers are still missing, now of course the Supreme Court has taken up and it has directed the Ministry of External Affairs and the Indian embassies in Ukraine and Romania to immediately find 2 missing Indian seafarers from the cargo vessel MV Aegean Ragnar following a Black Sea drone attack. In fact, we are aware that the MV Aegean Ragnar was struck near the port of Odessa in Ukraine on July 25. Well, we know that Indian authorities are in touch with the families and the concerned authorities back in Ukraine. And of course, there are several such summons being, the Ukraine ambassador was also summoned by the Ministry of External Affairs. Now the Supreme Court has directed the MEA to ascertain the whereabouts of the 2 Indian seafarers who has gone missing. Now 4 Indian nationals were on board and 2 were confirmed safe by the Indian embassy in Kyiv. Well, 2 remain still, the 2 are still missing. Now the families of the missing crew moved to the Supreme Court under Article 32, prompting the bench led by Chief Justice Surya Kant to order urgent coordination for the search and rescue operation. As far as the diplomatic efforts are concerned, of course, search efforts by Ukrainian and Romanian maritime agencies still continues. But yes, the attack followed a series of escalating incidents in the Black Sea. In fact, including strikes on MV Omar-Fai and MV Golden Leo. Of course, as we are aware that on July 16 there were like 5 Indian nationals who went missing, who are on board MV Golden Leo, leading the MEA to strict travel and employment advisories for all the commercial shipping lanes.
And I also want to go to Sarthak, because Sarthak will help us understand what happened in the Apex Court. Sarthak, CGI Surya Kant says, and I quote here, we also direct the Ministry of External Affairs to use their diplomatic channels and search in the same process. And they made it very, very clear whether the Indian embassy in Romania or the Indian embassy in Ukraine or anywhere else, they must be aware of the facts. This is what happened in the Supreme Court. Just tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, absolutely, Shivangi. Since 2022, ever since this war began, the Black Sea has been a hotspot for this war. Several of Indian seafarers work on these ships who travel through Black Sea, and this time around, a plea has been filed in the Supreme Court where they're asking for information about the family members are asking for the information of these Indian seafarers who are allegedly missing. Supreme Court has mentioned that there are several reports that are coming in. There are misleading reports that are coming in that there were 4 Indian seafarers. There were total 9 crew members, out of which there were 4 Indian seafarers. Some reports suggest that there were 2 who survived, 2 who were rescued. Some suggest that all 4 are missing, they drowned, and some suggest that all of them have survived. So there is this ambiguity and confusion around this entire incident, and there is no clarity on it. So what Supreme Court has directed the Ministry of External Affairs is to get more information on it, has directed the Indian embassies in Ukraine and Romania to find more clarity on this. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta has also mentioned that before we make any clarity, we need more information on this entire issue, and he has also sought some time for that. The Ministry of External Affairs might be filing a report and give a certain more clarity on this entire issue. And further, MEA has also been directed by the Supreme Court to use diplomatic channels to find out more information on this. Actually, how many Indian seafarers were there on the ship before the drone attack, and how many have actually survived? Has anyone actually survived so far or not? Or what is the entire incident about, and what has exactly happened? This has to be given by MEA. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta has sought some time. So more information, we will be getting more information as further hearings happen in this case.
That's right. Well, thank you, Sat, for getting us all those details, and thank you, Chandrakala, because this is a big update we're getting for our viewers, and we have to move ahead, viewers, because we're getting some more breaking news coming in. We shift our focus to Hyderabad. Now, one person died and other was critically injured after a car allegedly driven by a 17-year-old minor went out of control and rammed into them near Karmika Nagar under Madhura Nagar police station limits. According to the police officials, the incidents occurred on a Sunday morning, and the minor who was driving the rented car was a student from Borabanda. The car was rented by a 19-year-old youth, and he drove the car to Karmika Nagar, where the 17-year-old attempted to drive the car despite not being proficient at all at it. So there has been a situation which has played out, and I want to go straight across to my colleague who's joining us. I'm being joined by Ashwarya. There seems to be an incident which has happened on the roads. If you could just help our viewers understand these pictures that we are seeing. We have got some pictures. They're disturbing visuals for our viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Yes, Ashwarya.
Well, the 17-year-old was trying to drive the car where he actually rammed into seven scooters parked nearby, as well as one scooter in which two of them were elderly persons, both of them aging around 65, and the other person around in his late 30s, were on the scooty on the way to the church, is what we are learning, or during which the car went out of control, because what we're learning is that this particular minor did not even have a learning license, or didn't even know how to drive a car, and despite that he took out the car outside when his friend, the 19-year-old person who had rented this car out, and he dropped the car he drove the car to his friend's house, that is the 17-year-old boy, and he parked the car there, and he left the keys inside the car itself, and he went out, and during that period, the 17-year-old boy wanted to try his hand at driving, and he also had another friend of his who is also a minor, is what we are learning, made him sat beside him, and both of them took out the car, and unfortunately he rammed into a two-wheeler where one person died while undergoing treatment. Another person is still hospitalized and critically injured. What we're learning is that all the three of them have been taken into custody by the police, where the two of them who are minors have been shifted to juvenile home. The other person is still in the police custody, who is a 19-year-old boy who rented out the car. And after which the police said that there are further investigation is also underway, and even the remand procedures that should be taken out for as per the minor rules and as per the major rules, because one boy who is a major and the other two boys are minors. So all the procedure and the law is being followed, so that the justice is being served to the family who lost the life of one person and the other person is still injured.
That's right. Well, thank you for getting us all those details. I'll be coming back to you for more on that developing story. Getting some more breaking news coming in, viewers. Okay, let's talk about the infighting happening within the Congress party. Now, we see infighting which is happening, which has already played out in Patiala. Yes, we're talking about what's happening in Punjab. And this is months before the elections. Punjab will go to polls. And already we see infighting within the Congress party escalating. And there's no sign of abating as it enters its fourth day. And today, ahead of his visit to Muktsar Sahib, Bhupesh Baghel go back posters have been put up. So those are the pictures we're getting for you on your screen. This is a political embarrassment for the Congress yet again, because what we are seeing is that even though the Congress High Command is trying to make sure the differences within the Punjab unit are patched, well, that exactly it is not happening. In fact, there's been so much of a buzz about an internal rebellion which is gathering momentum. So these are some pictures coming in. Posters again. Bhupesh Baghel says, "Go back, Baghel." I want to go straight across to my colleagues joining us. Let's go to Lalit. Lalit, now we understand that there has been a lot of dissent within the Punjab unit of the Congress. Even though the High Command is trying their best to make sure that the differences are ironed over, that's exactly what's not happening. Take our viewers through these pictures that we are seeing on our screens.
Well, it seemed that everything is not going well inside the Punjab Congress unit. Now, the Punjab Congress in charge, Bhupesh Baghel, is on a 10-day visit to strengthen the party in the booth level. But it seems that everything is not going well. Today now, in the Muksar Sahab, there has been posters of Bhupesh Baghel pasted on the walls, in which it has been written as "Go back Baghel." Now it has been the 4th day of the dissent within the Punjab Congress. First it all started from Patiala, then Sangrur, and now it is Muksar Sahab. And if we talk about the infighting is that they don't want the Punjab Congress Chief Raja Vading as the President of Congress, while the former Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi is the main person behind this whole rift. Now Punjab Congress have made former Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi as the in charge of the campaign committee for the Congress. So it seems that everything is not going well inside the Punjab Congress. Back to the studio.
Right. Well, thank you for getting us all those details. I'll be coming back to you for more, Lalit, on the internal division within the Congress party. Taking a shot, in fact, getting some more updates coming in. A meeting of the Business Advisory Committee, BSA, will be held at the Parliament House today at 1 p.m. In fact, this is a new breaking we're getting for you. The government will attempt to break the ongoing deadlock in the Parliament. So Business Advisory Committee meeting is happening today, and the time is set for that meeting. The meeting will happen later on. Around 1 p.m. is when that meeting would be happening. So back-to-back updates coming in here on Republic TV. So Business Advisory Panel meet at Parliament Complex. That would be happening. In fact, the Business Advisory Committee meeting has happened before the Parliament session, the monsoon session of the Parliament, and there'll be one more Business Advisory Committee meeting which would be happening today at 1 p.m. Take a short break, viewers. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Much more coming right up. Pothole accident claims woman's life in Bhamandi Thane. Woman dies after the two-wheeler skids into a truck. Stay tuned.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath, there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट
कुछ तो सस्ता लो
सब बढ़िया लो
इसमें क्या खास बात है
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात
अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say Modi ji clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
आपको समझ ना आए तो आप घर जाके गूगल पे आप सर्च कर लेना ये क्या नारा है। वो नारा देते थे वास्ते गुने हुइयां, और वो नारा देते थे इतने प्यार से, इतनी खूबसूरत तरीके से इस्तीफा मांगते थे। कहते थे जब आपसे इस्तीफा भी मांगते थे तो कहते थे कुचू पुचू इस्तीफा दे दो, आज हमारा जन्मदिन है।
विपक्ष के आंदोलन को एक समराइज करना चाहूंगा मैं जेनजी के भाषा में। 37 दिन तक तो ये जंतर मंतर नहीं गए, तो इनको MIA हो गया। MIA क्या है? MIA मिसिंग इन एक्शन। तो 37 दिन तक हमने कुछ नहीं किया, तो कुछ तो करना चाहिए। जंतर मंतर तो नहीं जा सकते, तो हम जाते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी के आवास के सामने और वहां पर जाके आंदोलन करते हैं।
So these are the three categories: student, idiot, and andhbhakt who follows the idiot. Now,
प्रश्न है कि खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ। खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बना। प्रश्न ये कि खंड 1 अधिनियम सूत्र और विधेयक का पूरा नाम विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ।
जिन लोगों ने विद्यार्थियों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ किया, वे जेलों में सड़ रहे हैं। हमने मात्र एक कोर्ट बना।
अध्यक्ष जी, जहां पर कांग्रेस शासित यूपीए ने पॉलिसी वैक्यूम करा, वहीं पर अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say Modi ji clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
Tamil Nadu farmers have staged a dramatic protest over the Kaveri by burying themselves in the sand along the river. Led by the prominent Farmers Association leader Ayya Kannu, the farmers' agitation demands the immediate release of Karnataka Kaveri water for Tamil Nadu irrigation. Take a look.
தமிழ்நாட்டை பாலைவனமா ஆக்காதீங்க. நாடு செழிப்பமா இருக்கணுமா? தமிழ் ஐயோ மோடி ஐயா நாளைக்கு தண்ணி இல்லையே.
Constitution of India, even if the executive and the legislative commit any offence, that can be decided by the Supreme Court of India. If an executive or legislative act against the Constitution of India, the Supreme Court take necessary steps. Like that, the Supreme Court of India gave a direction to the Karnataka government They release water to the Tamil Nadu every month as per the judgment. So far, in Karnataka, more than 80 DMC water is there. The Karnataka CM, Sivakumarji, refused to release per day 3,500 cubic water to Tamil Nadu. But at the same time, day before yesterday, there was a heavy rain in Kerala to save their people, their state. What is the use of the Constitution of India? Constitution in India? What is the use of the judgment of Supreme Court? So, our Honorable CM, Joseph Vijay, must file a suit in the Supreme Court demanding 1 lakh crore from the Karnataka, and they must give to the farmers, those who have not cultivated the Kuduvai, Samba and Kodai paddy. So that's the reason even central government as well as the Supreme Court has not taken any steps against the Karnataka government. So they have not released water us, so we have not cultivated the land, so we buried in the mud and we want to die here.
And a massive fire broke out at a major logistics warehouse in Shandong, China, sending huge plumes of black smoke and towering flames into the sky. Take a look.
Massive flames engulf a major logistic warehouse in Shandong, China. Thick black smoke billowed into the sky as the intense blaze spread across the industrial facility. The warehouse, described as a key supply chain site, caught fire on August 2nd, with emergency teams rushing to the spot. Firefighters battled the raging flames for hours as efforts continued to bring the situation under control. Authorities have so far reported no casualties or injuries from the incident. Visuals from the scene showed a massive smoke cloud covering the surrounding industrial area. Emergency response teams remain deployed as investigations into the cause of the fire are underway.
Taking a short break, viewers. Parliamentary panel to hold meeting to discuss social media regulation. Google, Meta and X to appear before the panel. Stay tuned. We are live and breaking.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized. But, you know, we got to smack them a little bit.
The United States has launched airstrikes on Iran hours after President Donald Trump warned Tehran of a strong military response. The strikes mark the first major American attack since Trump paused the bombing campaign last week. Trump had earlier vowed to hit Iran very hard after an Iranian missile attack on an American base in Jordan. Within hours, US forces launched retaliatory strikes, escalating tensions across the Middle East.
We can hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized. But, you know, we got to smack them a little bit. Yeah, I think more so that, yeah, because it was another smaller event. But no, they sent 8,000 mile-an-hour missiles at us. And fortunately, we had our people operating the greatest equipment in the world, namely the Patriot system. Think of it.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Parliamentary panel to hold meetings to discuss social media regulation. Google, Meta and X to appear before the panel. Aspirants hold a march in Jharkhand over exam irregularities in 14th Jharkhand Public Service exam. Aspirants demand CBI probe. Pothole accident claims woman's life in Bhiwandi Thane. Woman dies after two-wheeler skids into a truck. Pakistan's failed field marshal Asim Munir's army opens fire on peaceful protesters in POJK's Rawalakot. Communal violence breaks out in Nepal after clashes between two communities. Curfew imposed in many districts. We are live and breaking. I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in. We have a big Republic business breaking for you right here. Let's go straight across to my colleague Rishita.
Hello and welcome to Republic Business. This is Rishita Kumar. Now, India's national security concerns have flagged something against BitChat. Despite clear government concerns, Western tech platforms appear to be dragging this feat. URLs flagged for unlawful activity by the Home Ministry, and they are still live on JitChat BitChat, the app that is under the scanner. For more updates on why the app is still live, I'm joined by my colleague Karan Seth. Over to you, Karan.
So today I want to ask the viewers and point out, today I want to talk to the viewers and point out a blatant disregard for India's security infrastructure. Google has absolutely no regard for India's security apparatus. So today I have a question for Mr. Sundar Pichai. Mr. Pichai, Google acts when China asks you to remove any apps. You act when the European Union asks you to remove any apps. You bow down to the US Congress. But what about the Indian security apparatus? there was a notice sent out to GitHub to remove repositories for the BitChat app. As of today, as of right now, the BitChat app is still very much active, can be downloaded, can be accessed from the Google Play Store. My second question after Google to Mr. Tim Cook of Apple, why is the BitChat app still available on Apple Play Store? My third question to Mr. Jack Dorsey, you got a notice from the I4C, you got a notice from the Home Ministry, you put it out on Twitter like a trophy. You literally showed a middle finger to the Indian government. Why no disregard? Why no regard for the Indian security apparatus? Despite more than a week that's gone by, despite the notice by the Indian government, by the Ministry of Home, by the I4C to BitChat, to GitHub, the app as of now remains very much accessible on the Play Stores of both Apple as well as Google. You can download the BitChat app, you can actually access the BitChat app. My question to Google, now look at the bias that Google and Apple, the bias that these companies have against India. You know, when you know there's a security situation that's happened, you know when the notice has been issued to Jack Dorsey, to Microsoft basically, to Microsoft. GitHub is owned by Microsoft today. Now when a notice was issued to GitHub, to Mr. Jack Dorsey, that BitChat repositories need to be taken off, why till date is the BitChat app still active, still accessible? Microsoft Satya Nadella needs to answer. Google Pichai, Google needs to answer. What about your security policies? Now, you need to understand, viewers, when Google operates Play Store, they are not just a distributor. They have policies around what apps to keep on their Play Store. Do they fit within the security policies? Are these apps safe for consumption? As of now, 800 million smartphones across India access these apps. Yet, all of these tech giants, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Mark Zuckerberg, where is he? He's in his metaverse still. Where's his statement on all this? He controls a lot of information that goes on 800 million smartphones across India. All of these tech giants, this is, viewers, like a Silicon Valley cartel that operates together. They make money from India. They make money from the 800 million smartphones in India that, use all of their apps, that they proliferate. Yet when it comes to accountability, when it comes to taking action, when it comes to being proactive, when it comes to India's security, none of these apps act. They literally show a middle finger to the Indian government and to the Indian audience. I want to ask you, where is the security policy of Google? There is a notice that's gone out by Ministry of Home Affairs. There's a order that's gone out by I4C. Why have you not taken action? It's been more than a week. What are your security policies? What are Apple's security policies? Do you not regulate what kind of apps go on your Play Store? Do you have no responsibility in ensuring that the apps on your Play Store are not causing any terrorist activities, are not causing any national security concerns, are not actually harming the Indian population? When it comes to, bowing down to all these, the US Congress, the Chinese, the Europeans, all of these are proactive. But today, all of these, this entire tech cartel, I call it, it's like a cartel, viewers. It's not one single company. When it comes to anything regarding Indian security, all of them, they get together and they are silent. Mark Zuckerberg has everything to say. He has 100, things to post on Insta. But when it comes to, India's security, all of them are mute. They show a middle finger. Back to Harshita on this.
Thank you so much, Karan, for this. Thank you so much, Karan, for debunking this down so wonderfully. Right now, we are joined by a very senior advocate to further deliberate on this issue. Mr. N.S. Dapinai, Senior Advocate of Supreme Court, has joined us. Hello, sir. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us on Republic TV.
Yeah, hi.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming here. Now, I want you to help me understand the legal consequences of this. BitChat, despite its claims, despite the accusation, is still active. So help us understand what are the actual legal consequences of this still pertaining to us.
The first thing I would request everyone to do is to delineate the protests that have happened in India that is separate and it has its own legal basis. We have to look at BitChat in isolation in terms of the technology and its legality. Today, how BitChat works is it circumvents all the established telecom processes and the that it will not have transparency, it is not traceable, and therefore accountable. In the time when the government needed to act, MHA's notice through its department, I4C, to say that any BitChat downloading of apps through GitHub should be taken down, as also from other platforms. Now, when you talk about the legal aspects, the first thing that comes to mind is intermediary liability. Now, intermediaries are given an exemption or a safe harbor based on content that's hosted by them, which they have no control over. If they are hosting an app on their store, then they cannot claim that they have no control over such hosting.
Yeah.
Secondly, they should not have any control over the person who is sharing content and the recipient, etc. Now, when you look at this situation, two things emerge. Using the intermediary guidelines, notices were issued asking platforms to take down the GitHub, allies with GitHub, right? To take down the app download links.
Right.
What really we need today is clarity from the telecom department on what is permissible and impermissible when it comes to communications. BitChat is actually a very simple improvement on what we used to use for tracking luggage. If I can just put it in perspective for people. When you use those air dopes or whatever it was called for tracking your luggage, it's a small button-like device. It simply used Bluetooth technology to connect between persons within its vicinity to the person closest to you, and then information comes to you of where your luggage is. BitChat really uses an enhancement of this technology, whereby communication is also facilitated. Now, this communication, for instance, if you were to do it through a chat app, and if there is a violation, and when the government wants information about such communications which may be violated, then the platform, that is a chat app, which could be WhatsApp or Signal or Telegram, will have to share information subject to due process with the government. Right? Here, BitChat will merely say that I have no information with me because everything happens at the end. Now, that's where the criticality arises, and therefore it's imperative that India has very clear laws to define what is a communication channel and what is permissible and impermissible in that.
Absolutely. Now, ma'am, you mentioned lack of transparency. This is an extremely concerning issue. So what do you think is going to be the future outlook? If, for instance, nothing happens in the coming few days, what is the future going to be for BitChat and apps like that?
Well, nothing will happen in the next few days because law is glacial, so it needs time to move. But rules and regulations through delegated authority can be done swiftly. And the Department of Telecommunication can issue a clarification right away. It is also imperative that MeitY, which is the regulator for intermediaries, also clarifies the stand with respect to app stores. This is something that I flagged in my book as early as in 2017. Because unlike a common store owner who may or may not know the quality or the issues with goods that he stores, he still knows what goods he stores. And he is still made liable if illegal goods are stored there, let's say arms, right? Firearms, etc. Similarly, there has to be clear regulations with respect to the code of conduct and the liability and responsibility with respect to app stores. I think the time is right now, and this is something which can be actioned immediately, and it should be.
Well put, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your insights on BitChat. Now we move on to some of the closing rules, some of our business stories today. Starting today, SEBI's new closing auction session framework is in effect for select stocks. Under the new system, trading for F&O eligible stocks in the cash market will end at 3:15 p.m. Instead of immediately declaring the closing price, the exchange will conduct a 20-minute closing auction. Now, during this window, investors can place and match buy and sell orders. The price at which the maximum number of shares can be traded becomes the stock's official closing price. Now, SEBI says this will improve price discovery, reduce last-minute price manipulation, and make closing prices more transparent and reliable. That's all for today, viewers. Thank you for joining us on Republic Business. Now, back to you, Shivangi.
Well, thank you, Rishita and Karan, for getting us all those updates. Those are the biggest updates from the world of business presented by my colleagues. Thank you so much. And we will continue getting our viewers all the biggest stories coming in from the world of economy, business and finance. We're getting some more updates coming in. Let's shift our focus to the other stories we're tracking here. Amid rising unrest in PUJK, the protests have now reached Islamabad and Rawalpindi. A protest call was made by students outside the Rawalpindi Press Club. Put out those pictures in a short while from now so we get an idea about what exactly is happening. Things are so intense in PUJK, the protests, that now even students have moved towards Islamabad and Rawalpindi, and in the heart of Pakistan, their protests asking for justice for the people of PUJK. So back-to-back updates coming in here on Republic TV, viewers, and those are the pictures we're getting for you, showing you what is happening in multiple areas, especially Islamabad and Rawalpindi. The protests are continuing across PUJK amid deadly crackdown by the Pakistani forces. So that is one of the biggest updates coming in on Republic TV, and we have seen that the Pakistani forces are even firing at unarmed protesters. All right, let's go straight across to my colleague Zeenat, who will get us an update about what's happening in Pakistan, and especially the PUJK region. What we see, Zeenat, is absolutely atrocious visuals coming in, where we see that Pakistani forces are firing upon unarmed protesters. And we had also told our viewers a few days ago that they were firing on women protesters as well, Zeenat.
They are definitely the heart-wrenching visuals that we see coming in from Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, because the demands are not met by the Pakistan administration, the demands that have been raised by these unarmed protesters for a long time now. It's been more than a month when the Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir is witnessing unrest. And since the demands have not been fulfilled, we see the people on the road, from younger groups to old age people, the women on ground demanding the accountability from the government, as they are looking for the reforms in terms of political and the social reform. They want that their living is upgraded. They are being provided food on subsidized rates. The electricity prices have gone up, which needs to be controlled. Then there is also a demand for the employment, because the unemployment graph in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir has gone many folds. So there are the protests that are asking the government to pay an attention to what the protesters are demanding. Although the Pakistan government claims that there are the infiltrators in the protests who have opened fire, but we are picking that the protesters were trying for peaceful march, and when the Pakistan army opened mouth of their guns and carried the kind of a massacre or a genocide, the atrocities that have been committed, that led to the killing of more than 100 people.
Absolutely, Zeenat. I'll come back to you for more. getting some breaking news coming in. Really have to move ahead. Prashant Kishore of the Jan Suraj party is leading over the BJP candidate Neeraj Kumar Sinha in the Bankipur Assembly by-election. After 12 rounds of counting in Bankipur, Prashant Kishore is leading by over 6,000 votes. BJP is leading in Datia by polls, and from the latest updates that we're getting for reviewers, Prashant Kishore is leading in Bankipur seat in Bihar. So these are the trends which are coming in right now. Back-to-back updates coming in here, Republic TV viewers. And remember, there are elections, by-elections which are happening in 3 states, in Madhya Pradesh, as well, Gujarat and Bihar. So we're getting these updates coming in, viewers, on Republic TV. And like we were telling you, that the BJP has taken an early lead in the first round, even in Datia. That is also coming in. For more, let's go straight across to my colleague who's joining us. Prakash is joining us. Prakash, we know that the by-elections which are happening in Bankipur has been a BJP stronghold for a very long time. However, right now, Prashant Kishore is leading according to early trends.
Well, yes, after 11th after 15 rounds, Prashant Kishore is leading by more than 10,000 votes. That's what we get to know from the sources here. And if this is the trend, then Prashant Kishore will definitely win by a handsome margin. And it's a setback to the BJP because it is said to be the stronghold of the BJP. Stronghold of the BJP in the sense that it was held by Nitin Nabin. Second, it is an urban-centric voting pattern here. It means the urban voters have rejected the BJP because a narrative is set by Prashant Kishore pertaining to the Kutta Billi statement of the BJP leaders. And one, referendum against Samrat Chaudhary, another narrative set by Prashant Kishore. So early trends show that he's leading. I'm joined by a few of the supporters of Jan Suraj. He's one of the contested who had contested here. तब नीरज जी ये बताइए कि अभी जो रिजल्ट आ रहा है, ट्रेंड है, तो क्या लगता है क्या मार्जिन हो?
मार्जिन लगभग हम लोग 20 से 25 हजार वोटों से चुनाव जीतने जा रहे हैं और यह बांकीपुर की जनता चुनाव जीतने जा रही है। जो 2025 में इन लोगों ने चोर दरवाजे से जो सरकार पर और गद्दी हासिल किया, बिहार के जनता को, बिहार के खजाना को इन लोगों ने लुटा के 10-10 हजार का लालच देके और गांव के गरीब महिलाओं को 10-10 हजार का लालच देके इन लोगों ने सत्ता हासिल किया। उसका जवाब बांकीपुर की जनता ने इन लोगों को दे दिया कि नहीं चलेगी तानाशाही, जनता का होना चाहिए। इन लोग बीजेपी बोल रही थी कि मेरा 40 साल से किला है। किला किसी दल का नहीं होता है, किला जनता का होता है। और इस बार बांकीपुर की जनता दिखा दी कि नहीं, अब पूरा बिहार, इसका असर देखिएगा आने वाले 2029 के चुनाव में भी पड़ने जा रही है, पंचायत चुनाव 2027 में भी पड़ने जा रही है और पूरा बिहार जनसुराज होने जा रहा है।
हम तो बांकीपुर के ही हैं और आपको बस बता दें कि बांकीपुर के जो जनता है बिहार में सबसे प्रबुद्ध जनता मानी जाती है।
जाति से है?
हम तो राजपूत जाति के हैं और आपको ये बता दें, जाति के तो खैर देखिए, जन सुराज में जाति की बात और पत्रकार होकर पूछते हैं, बहुत अच्छा नहीं लगता।
नहीं पूछेंगे भाई,
जाति की बात नहीं,
जाति
चलिए बस बिल्कुल। और बस ये जानिए कि ये तो बस शुरुआत है, अब पूरे बिहार की बात है। बिहार के लोग समझ चुका है कि
So there we have upbeat supporters of Jan Suraj. Early trends show that the Jan Suraj founder Prashant Kishore is leading by a handsome margin.
All right, thank you, Prakash, for getting us all those details. I have to go ahead and see what is happening in the next by-poll. INC leading in Datia by-poll with around 1,739 votes. And BJP is leading in Datia as well. So we're getting these updates coming in on Republic TV viewers. And big updates coming in Madhya Pradesh. Datia Assembly seat fell vacant following the disqualification of the Congress MLA Rajendra Bharti under the provision of Representation of the People Act 1951. Okay. Okay, several towns in southern Nepal remain on edge after days of communal violence between two communities. It began last week after a dispute over an annual Hindu procession in the Sunsari district near the Indian border. The curfew imposed in southern Nepal city after the violent protests escalated. The notice also warned that violators could be shot by security forces. So this is a visual that we're getting for you on your screen. This is what's happening. Exclusive pictures coming in from southern Nepal where the tensions have been escalating. Now the Prime Minister of Nepal has been trying to make sure that the situation is under control. However, the response of the PM of Nepal came a little bit late. However, he is asking for everyone to maintain peace. Curfew has been imposed in multiple areas. Republic is getting our viewers all those updates coming in. In southern Nepal, there have been clashes which were reported, and it has been approximately the past few days that we have seen a lot of tensions in southern Nepal. Now, we're also getting viewers that communal violence between two communities has gripped southern Nepal. And as we keep getting our viewers all these updates, there's an indefinite curfew in southern Nepal to make sure that the situation remains under control. So clashes had broken out between two communities, and now the curfew has been imposed in parts of Sunsari, also remain in force. Both Sunsari and the Siraha border, the Indian state of Bihar. Taking a short break, viewers, do not go anywhere. Pothole accident claims woman's life in Bhiwandi, Thane. That's one of the top stories tracking right now on Republic TV. Woman dies after two-wheeler skids into a truck. Stay tuned.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School Bengaluru.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो, सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say मोदी जी clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
आपको समझ ना आए तो आप घर जाके गूगल पे आप सर्च कर लेना ये क्या नारा है। वो नारा देते थे वास्ते गुने हुइयां, और वो नारा देते थे इतने प्यार से, इतनी खूबसूरत तरीके से इस्तीफा मांगते थे। कहते थे जब आपसे इस्तीफा भी मांगते थे तो कहते थे कुचू पुचू इस्तीफा दे दो, आज हमारा जन्मदिन है।
विपक्ष के आंदोलन को एक समराइज करना चाहूंगा मैं जेनजी के भाषा में। 37 दिन तक तो ये जंतर मंतर नहीं गए, तो इनको MIA हो गया। MIA क्या है? MIA मिसिंग इन एक्शन। तो 37 दिन तक हमने कुछ नहीं किया, तो कुछ तो करना चाहिए। जंतर मंतर तो नहीं जा सकते, तो हम जाते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी के आवास के सामने और वहां पर जाके आंदोलन करते हैं।
So these are the three categories: student, idiot, and andhbhakt who follows the idiot. Now,
प्रश्न है कि खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ। खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बना। प्रश्न ये कि खंड 1 अधिनियम सूत्र और विधेयक का पूरा नाम विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हवालों के पक्ष हुआ।
जिन लोगों ने विद्यार्थियों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ किया।
Coming up, viewers, pothole accident claims woman's life in Bhiwandi Thane. Woman dies after two-wheeler skids into a truck.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized. But, you know, we got to smack them a little bit.
The United States has launched airstrikes on Iran hours after President Donald Trump warned Tehran of a strong military response. The strikes mark the first major American attack since Trump paused the bombing campaign last week. Trump had earlier vowed to hit Iran very hard after an Iranian missile attack on an American base in Jordan. Within hours, US forces launched retaliatory strikes, escalating tensions across the Middle East.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized. But, you know, we got to smack them a little bit. Yeah, I think more so that, yeah, because it was another smaller event. But no, they sent 8,000 mile-an-hour missiles at us. And fortunately, we had our people operating the greatest equipment in the world, namely the Patriot system. Think of it, 5 missiles going 8,600 miles an hour, big ones, coming right at us, and all 5 were shot down. How about that, right? Pretty good. Nobody else could do that but us, yeah.
US forces began launching strikes against Iran at 8 p.m. ET today. The strikes are a powerful response to yesterday's attempted Iranian attacks on US forces based in the Middle East.
A very warm welcome, viewers. You're watching Republic TV. This is Shivam Dutt Mehta, and the top focus stories include the violence in POJK by the brutal terrorist Pakistani government regime, which is shooting on innocent protesters who are demanding basic rights. We'll get you all the updated information, the visuals from POJK, and a lot more. But first up, let's have a look at the top headlines of the hour.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Parliamentary panel to hold meeting to discuss social media regulation. Google, Meta and X to appear before the panel. Aspirants to hold Mashal March in Jharkhand over exam irregularities in 14th Jharkhand Public Service exams. Aspirants demand CBI probe. Pothole accident claims woman's life in Bhiwandi. Thane, woman dies after two-wheeler skids into truck. And Pakistan's failed Field Marshal Asim Munir's army opens fire on peaceful protesters in POJK's Rawalakot. Communal violence breaks out in Nepal after clashes between two communities. Curfew imposed in several districts. All right, viewers, let's begin this bulletin with the first big breaking news development, and this is about the by-polls, and Prashant Kishore of the Jan Swaraj Party is leading and is ahead from the BJP over the BJP candidate Neeraj Kumar Sinha in the Bankipur Assembly by-poll elections. The counting is on, and even after 14 rounds of counting in Bankipur, Prashant Kishore is still leading by over 11,000 votes. All right, so he's leading by 11,000 votes. Okay, let's go to Prashant, who is joining us from Ground Zero. Prakash, coming to you for all the latest updates, because Prashant Kishore is leading by 11,000 votes, and this means that he is on a steady trajectory towards victory. But still, we'll have to wait because there are many more rounds left. But over to you for all the latest.
Well, it's just halfway through as far as the counting is concerned, and even then he's leading by more than 10,000, 11,000 votes. That's a testimony to the fact that he's on his way to victory. Now, this is a lesson for the BJP as well as the RJD. Prashant Kishore has made a dent into both the RJD and the BJP vote bank. Now, how did it happen? The narrative was set by Prashant Kishore. As far as Prashant Kishore is concerned, first, he set the template of a Kuttabili candidate, that BJP will field a Kuttabili candidate, and that candidate will win from Bankipur, as it is said that it is the stronghold of the BJP, a stronghold of the BJP, and the seat was held by Nitin Naveen for a long time, and his father as well. And second, the template was that it was a referendum against Bihar Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary after the exit of Nitish Kumar, who was a popular leader among all castes and all social strata. Now, this Bankipur is in the heart of Patna. It's an urban area. The mindset is different, and it transcends beyond caste. And most significantly, the upper caste, which is the core voter of the BJP, has in majority, except the Kayas, the Rajput Bhumihar Brahmins, have sided with Prashant Kishore, which is not a good sign for the BJP. Second, the Muslim Yadavs also voted in large numbers, specifically the Muslims, because they vote in pattern, a certain pattern. Those who defeats the BJP, they will side with them. They saw that the RJD is nowhere in the fray, and with the non-serious approach of Tejasvi Yadav, he was in Europe, and now we can see that the votes translating for Prashant Kishore, and this is what a cumulative effect, and he has made a dent into both the vote bank, the RJD as well as the BJP. It's a halfway through. We'll wait and watch, but it will have a long-standing impact on the politics in Bihar in the coming days. Of course, the by-election is not a reflection. We have seen across the country the results of by-election is not a reflection on the General Assembly. But yes, Prashant Kishore will get a lease of life because it was a do-or-die situation for him. He did not contest the last assembly elections. He travelled across Bihar on his Padayatra. He was relegated to 2.5% votes, despite the fact he contested 243 assembly constituencies. And now he gets a fresh lease of life. His cadre, which he had formed for the past 4 years, will be energized, and he'll get an issue for the next 4 years, the assembly elections in 2030. And we'll wait and watch if any political realignment happens or not, because he's in touch with the Congress party as well. So new political realignment may take shape, because after the exit of Nitish Kumar, Lalu Yadav, and Sushil Modi, now we are getting an announcement by the Election Commission for the 14th round of counting. We'll wait and watch. Back to you.
5,583 मत, अशोक कुमार समता पार्टी 54 मत, उपेंद्र सहनी राष्ट्रीय जनसंभावना
All right, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the update, Prakash, because there's live announcement that is happening right now, and Prashant Kishore is leading, and he's leading by a very big margin, that is 11,000 votes. Now, let's move on to another top story that we're tracking, and this is about the Datia by-polls, and there, Congress is leading in Datia by-polls, and by a big margin, which is 3,295 votes. So let's focus on the Datia by-polls now, where the Congress is leading. The INC is leading, and the margin is of 3,295 votes. And here, Congress is also steadily leading against the BJP. And as per the latest round, they are still ahead, and they are ahead by more than 3,000 votes in Datia. And this is the contest for the Datia Assembly by-election in Madhya Pradesh, which has tightened as Congress candidate Ghanshyam Singh has taken a lead. All right, Satya Vijay joins us live with all the latest updates. Satya Vijay, जिस तरीके से ये बाईपोल्स हो रहे हैं और कांग्रेस को लगातार यहाँ बढ़त मिलती हुई नजर आ रही है, लेकिन बीजेपी अभी ये दावा करेगी कि नहीं, अभी और भी राउंड्स बाकी हैं, लेकिन एक रुझानों के बारे में जरा समझाते हुए विस्तार से उसको आप बताइए कि क्या कुछ चल रहा है और कितना मार्जिन अब यहाँ पर मिल चुका है यहाँ पर कांग्रेस को, और बीजेपी कितनी पीछे है?
जी हाँ, बिल्कुल। देखिए, 7 राउंड की काउंटिंग हो चुकी है, और शुरुआत में अगर दिन की शुरुआत की बात करें तो 8 बजे से लेकर 10 बजे तक का समय भाजपा के लिए अच्छा था, क्योंकि शुरुआत के 3 राउंड में भाजपा के जो कैंडिडेट हैं आशुतोष तिवारी वो आगे चल रहे थे, लेकिन चौथे राउंड से लेकर अब 7वें राउंड तक, बल्कि कहूँगा कि 8वें राउंड की भी लगभग रुझान आ चुके हैं, जिसमें 3000 से ज़्यादा मार्जिन से कांग्रेस आगे है। तो चूंकि टोटल 15 राउंड है और 8 राउंड में अभी कांग्रेस लगातार बढ़त बनाए हुए है, तो ऐसे में आप कह सकते हैं कि तस्वीर बदलती हुई नजर आ रही है। हालांकि बाई इलेक्शन में अमूमन देखा जाता है कि जिस पार्टी की सरकार है उसी पार्टी का कैंडिडेट आगे रहता है, लेकिन यहाँ पर भीतरघात की बात जो आ रही है, चाहे वो कांग्रेस की तरफ से हो चाहे वो बीजेपी की तरफ से हो, कांग्रेस ने तो अपने जो पिछला उनका प्रत्याशी था दतिया से, जिस राजेंद्र भारती जिसने नरोत्तम मिश्रा को हराया था, उसको कल निलंबित भी कर दिया पार्टी से, क्योंकि जो फिलहाल घनश्याम सिंह है उन्होंने पार्टी आलाकमान से शिकायत की थी कि राजेंद्र भारती ने पार्टी के खिलाफ काम किया है, भीतरघात किया है। वहीं दूसरी तरफ बात करें कि इस चुनाव में चूंकि दतिया में सबसे ज्यादा प्रभाव नरोत्तम मिश्रा का है, लेकिन 2023 में नरोत्तम मिश्रा चुनाव हार गए थे और बाई इलेक्शन में उनको मौका नहीं दिया है पार्टी ने। इसके बाद जब ये लिस्ट आई कैंडिडेट की, उसके बाद दतिया में जो देखने को मिला था वो अक्सर भाजपा में देखने को नहीं मिलता है। वहां पर सड़कों पर जाम था, हाईवे 11 घंटे तक बंद रख दिया, कार्यकर्ताओं ने बीजेपी कार्यालय को घेर लिया, पार्टी और संगठन के नेताओं को अपशब्द तक कहे, इतना विरोध देखने को मिला था। हालांकि उसके बाद नरोत्तम मिश्रा ने अपने समर्थकों को समझाया, उन्होंने खुद प्रचार भी किया, मंच से भावुक भी हुए और कहा कि वो आशुतोष तिवारी के लिए प्रचार करेंगे, प्रचार किया भी, लेकिन उनके समर्थक कहीं ना कहीं सुस्त नजर आए। तो भीतरघात की बात जो है वो दोनों तरफ से आ रही है। राजेंद्र भारती को तो कांग्रेस ने पार्टी से निलंबित ही कर दिया, वहीं दूसरी तरफ नरोत्तम मिश्रा भले ही भाजपा की जीत का दावा कर रहे हों और उनका कहना हो कि हमने पूरी कोशिश की है और भाजपा जीतेगी, लेकिन अब तस्वीर जो है वो पूरी कहानी को बयां कर रही है कि यहाँ पर कांग्रेस लीड लेती हुई नजर आ रही है, और कहीं ना कहीं इस गुटबाजी की वजह से भाजपा को डैमेज होगा, मोहन यादव को डैमेज होगा, प्रदेश अध्यक्ष जो हैं हेमंत खंडेलवाल, उनको भी कहीं ना कहीं डैमेज होता दिखेगा अगर परिणाम इन रुझानों के हिसाब से ही आए तो।
बिल्कुल ठीक है, आप नजर बना के रखिए, जैसे कुछ अपडेट आता आपके पास वापस आएंगे पुनः और जानकारी आपसे एकत्रित करने के लिए। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सत्य विजय, पूरी जानकारी हमारे साथ साझा करने के लिए। ऑलराइट व्यूअर्स, नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन टू अनदर टॉप स्टोरी दैट वी आर ट्रैकिंग, व्हिच इज द violence in Nepal. Now several towns in southern Nepal remain on edge after days of communal violence between two communities. Now it began last week after a dispute over an annual Hindu procession in Sunsari district near the Indian border. Now curfew was imposed in southern Nepal city after the violent protests escalated. Now the notice has warned that violators could be shot by security forces. Now these are the horrifying visuals of homes being set on fire, homes being set ablaze, and you can see the plumes of smoke and the violence which is ensuing between two communities, and the Hindus being targeted yet again. And this time the visuals are coming, exclusive visuals are coming on your television screens, and these visuals are from Nepal, south of Nepal, where the violence has escalated and the situation remains tense even now, ladies and gentlemen. And these are the visuals of the violence that ensued, that happened in southern Nepal, and several towns in southern Nepal are affected. And the dispute happened because of an annual Hindu procession in Sunsari district in Nepal. And as usual, some people objected to it, but this time there was a response and there is violence. All right, now Republic also spoke to the former Prime Minister of Nepal, Jhalanath Khanal, on the communal violence which unfolded in Nepal. Take a listen to this exclusive conversation.
Some days before in Sunsari district, there has been a kind of violence was erupted there between two communities, particularly Hindu community and Muslim community, and it was flaring up, particularly in the Tarai region in some districts. But all political parties in Nepal addressed this by publishing their statement one after another. Then slowly and gradually the situation is coming down, and a new situation is coming up. The administration also becoming more serious, particularly the government, present government, actually did not take this issue seriously in the beginning, but now it's taking more seriously. That's why the situation is calming down now.
Right. Jhalanath Khanal, if you could also describe to us what is the situation looking like in Nepal particularly. We understand that curfew has been imposed in multiple areas. What is the government there trying to really do? They're imposing curfews, but the response which came in from the current Prime Minister was also quite delayed. It came in at a time when unrest had already spread to multiple areas.
Yes, it has been cleared up in some districts in the Tarai region. But at the same time, Nepal is a multi-religious, multi-ethnic, multicultural, multi-linguistic country. And since a long time, there was very good harmony among all the people. There was peace, but sometimes it happened. And at this time also, due to some kinds of mistakes or some kinds of prejudice, some kinds of ego, within some circle of people, it erupted. Violence was erupted, and it was cleared up to some mistakes. Now it's going to be controlled now.
All right. Thank you, sir, for joining us here.
All right, so that was an exclusive conversation with the former Nepal Prime Minister. Now let's move on to another big story that we are tracking. We have another video which has emerged of the suicide bombing which occurred on 2nd August 2026 outside a police station in Kabul, Swat district, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in Pakistan. Now the attacker targeted a crowd at an anti-militancy protest, which is a peace rally, an Aman Pasoon as they call it. At least 14 people were killed, and reports vary slightly on the exact split between the police and civilians, and more than 20 were wounded. But we have this exclusive new video, and TTP-linked accounts have claimed responsibility and circulated material about the attacker. Now claims that the bomber was a resident of Dobando, Upper Dir, originate from those accounts. An independent confirmation of the individual's identity or place of origin has not yet appeared in mainstream reporting. Now, this is the broader pattern which fits of the increased TTP activity in parts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in 2025-2026. Swat itself had been largely cleared of the group after the 2009 military operation. So the attack has raised concerns about a renewed attempt to re-establish a presence in the valley. So these are the visuals, exclusive visuals, ladies and gentlemen, of the blast. This is another angle of the blast. All right, let's go across to Ishan for all the latest updates on this video. Ishan, we're getting another video which has emerged of the suicide bombing which took place in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in Pakistan. Now, TTP-linked accounts have claimed responsibility, but over to you for all the latest in this.
The TTP accounts have released this video wherein you can clearly see that the blast takes place in front of the Sabha police station. in Siwa district in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Now, the attack occurred while a large public demonstration was underway, and it took place when the final speaker was addressing the crowd. The attacker approached the police station entrance, and when the police stopped him for search, he detonated the explosives at the gate before he could enter the compound. Now, this facility is a very important facility because it houses the police station, a CTD facility, and police lines and public felicitation center. The explosion struck both security personnel and civilians participating in the nearby protest. Figures of the attack, injured and killed in the attack, are still coming in, but initially we can say that about 14 people have succumbed to their injuries and about 18 to 22 are injured and are receiving treatment nearby. Now, these updates also break down in several reports that approximately 6 to 8 police officers among the dead. Now, the injured were taken primarily to the central hospital, and after that, the remains of the bombers were recovered. The TTP-linked accounts have claimed responsibility and circulated a banner and poster about the attacker. According to those accounts, the bomber was a resident of Deobando Valley. Now, Pakistani security forces and social media, Pakistani social media have identified him as being part of it. Now, the Inspector General of Police, Zulfikar Hamid, have confirmed that the bomber has been identified and a joint investigation.
And this is yet another case where the Pakistani police, the Pakistani military is losing control over the territories where they claim the security situation is better now compared to what it used to be. But thanks a lot, Ishan, for all the updates on the story. Keep a track of all the developments. We'll come back to you as more details emerge. All right, viewers, now let's move on to another top story that we are tracking. Now, the farmers in Tamil Nadu have staged a dramatic protest over the Kaveri by burying themselves in the sand along the river. Now, led by prominent Farmers Association leader Ayya Kannu, the farmers' agitation demands the immediate release of Karnataka Kaveri water for Tamil Nadu irrigation to save the critical Kuruvai crop. Now, protesters accused Karnataka, specifically CM DKS, of violating the Kaveri water sharing rules and ignoring explicit Supreme Court orders. Now, meanwhile, Karnataka reports highlight the state's stance that protecting local drinking water and its own agriculture remains top priority.
Constitution of India, even if the executive and the legislative commit any offence, that can be decided by the Supreme Court of India. If an executive or legislative act against the Constitution of India, the Supreme Court take necessary steps. Like that, the Supreme Court of India gave a direction to the Karnataka government. They release water to the Tamil Nadu every month as per the judgment. So far, in Karnataka, more than 80 DMC water is there. The Karnataka CM Sivakumarji refused to release per day 3,500 cubic water to Tamil Nadu. But at the same time, day before yesterday, there was a heavy rain in Kerala to save their people, their state. What is the use of the Constitution of India? Constitution in India? What is the use of the judgment of Supreme Court? So, our Honorable CM Joseph Vijay must file a suit in the Supreme Court demanding 1 lakh crore from the Karnataka, and they must give to the farmers, those who have not cultivated the Kuruvai, Samba and Kodai paddy. So that's the reason even central government as well as the Supreme Court has not taken any steps against the Karnataka government. So they have not released water us, so we have not cultivated the land, so we buried in the mud and we want to die here.
All right, viewers, it's time to slip into a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere because we have a lot more lined up for you. Coming up after the break, pothole accident claims woman's life in Bhavandi, Thane. Woman dies after two-wheeler skids into the truck.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi and National Law School Bengaluru.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाए जीरा से MDH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MDH।
अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say Modi ji clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
आपको समझ ना आए तो आप घर जाके गूगल पे आप सर्च कर लेना ये क्या नारा है। वो नारा देते थे वास्ते गुने हुइयां, और वो नारा देते थे इतने प्यार से, इतनी खूबसूरत तरीके से इस्तीफा मांगते थे। कहते थे जब आपसे इस्तीफा भी मांगते थे तो कहते थे कुचू पुचू इस्तीफा दे दो, आज हमारा जन्मदिन है।
विपक्ष के आंदोलन को एक समराइज करना चाहूंगा मैं जेनजी के भाषा में। 37 दिन तक तो ये जंतर मंतर नहीं गए, तो इनको MIA हो गया। MIA क्या है? MIA मिसिंग इन एक्शन। तो 37 दिन तक हमने कुछ नहीं किया, तो कुछ तो करना चाहिए। जंतर मंतर तो नहीं जा सकते, तो हम जाते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी के आवास के सामने और वहां पर जाके आंदोलन करते हैं।
So these are the three categories: student, idiot, and andhbhakt who follows the idiot. Now,
प्रश्न है कि खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ। खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बना। प्रश्न ये कि खंड 1 अधिनियम सूत्र और विधेयक का पूरा नाम विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ।
जिन लोगों ने विद्यार्थियों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ किया, वे जेलों में सड़ रहे हैं।
All right, viewers, time to slip into a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere, because coming up next, Pakistan's failed Field Marshal Asim Munir's army opens fire on peaceful protesters in POJK's Rawalakot.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
राजा आरती और मसाला।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing control. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized. But, you know, we got to smack them a little bit.
The United States has launched airstrikes on Iran hours after President Donald Trump warned Tehran of a strong military response. The strikes mark the first major American attack since Trump paused the bombing campaign last week.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Parliamentary panel to hold meeting to discuss social media regulation. Google, Meta and X to appear before the panel. Aspirants hold Mashal March in Jharkhand over exam irregularities in 14th Jharkhand Public Service exams. Aspirants demand CBI probe. Pothole accident claims a woman's life in Bhiwandi. Thane, woman dies after two-wheeler skids into truck. Pakistan's failed Field Marshal Asim Munir's army opens fire on peaceful protesters in POJK's Rawalakot. An unrest in Nepal. Communal violence breaks out in Nepal after clashes between two communities. Curfew imposed in several districts.
एक साथ के लिए जा रहे हैं। माननीय श्री सौगत राय जी सांविधिक संकल्प प्रस्तुत करें।
मैडम, that this House disapproves of the Supreme Court number of Judges Amendment Ordinance 2026 promulgated by the President on 16/5/2026.
माननीय मंत्री प्रस्ताव करें कि विधेयक पर विचार किया जाए।
Honorable Chairperson sir, with your permission, I move that the bill further to amend the Supreme Court Number of Judges Act 1956 be taken into consideration. सर आपकी अनुमति हो तो कुछ मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ।
जी बिल्कुल बोल सकते हैं।
सर, आज इस महान सदन में आपकी अनुमति से न्यायपालिका से संबंधित एक महत्वपूर्ण विधेयक को चर्चा हेतु प्रस्तुत किया गया है। लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों तथा न्याय परंपरा का सजीव प्रतिबिंब हमारा जीवंत संविधान, विधायिका, कार्यपालिका एवं न्यायपालिका, इन तीनों संवैधानिक स्तंभों के मध्य सहयोग, समन्वय व संतुलन की दिशा निर्धारित करते हुए विकसित भारत निर्माण की राह प्रशस्त कर रहा है। आज माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के दूरदर्शी नेतृत्व में भारत रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म एंड ट्रांसफॉर्म के मंत्र को आत्मसात करते हुए सामान्य मानवीय के जीवन से जुड़े लगभग प्रत्येक क्षेत्र में व्यापक सकारात्मक एवं संरचनात्मक परिवर्तन का साक्षी बना है। आज प्रस्तुत यह विधेयक भी न्यायिक क्षेत्र में उसी सुधार श्रृंखला की एक महत्वपूर्ण कड़ी है, जिसके माध्यम से समानुकूल आवश्यकताओं को ध्यान में रखते हुए सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में न्यायाधीशों की संख्या बढ़ाने का प्रावधान किया गया है। माननीय सभापति महोदय, संविधान के आर्टिकल 124A में सर्वोच्च न्यायालय की संरचना तथा न्यायाधीशों की संख्या के निर्धारण किया गया है।
माननीय तिरुचि शिवाजी नॉट प्रेजेंट, नॉट मूविंग, so now I call upon the members whose names have been received for participation in the discussion.
एक्ट 1956 इस सदन में प्रस्तुत किया गया, जिसके परिणाम स्वरूप मुख्य न्यायाधीश सहित न्यायाधीशों की संख्या बढ़कर 11 कर दी गई। उसी मूल भावना को आगे बढ़ाते हुए वर्तमान परिप्रेक्ष्य में माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में लंबित मामलों की बढ़ती संख्या तथा न्यायिक कार्य प्रणाली को अधिक एफिशिएंट एवं इफेक्टिव बनाने के उद्देश्य से इस अमेंडमेंट बिल में चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया सहित अन्य न्यायाधीशों की संख्या वर्तमान में 34 से बढ़ाकर 38 किए जाने का प्रावधान किया गया है। माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बेंचेज के गठन के कारण नियमित मामलों की सुनवाई में उपलब्ध न्यायाधीशों की संख्या स्वाभाविक रूप से कम हो जाती है। बड़ी बेंचेज की दीर्घकालीन सुनवाई का प्रभाव अन्य लंबित मामलों के निस्तारण पर भी पड़ता है। मैं एक मामले की जानकारी आपको देना चाहता हूं। मई 2026 में सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में 9 न्यायाधीशों की 9 न्यायाधीशों की कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बेंच द्वारा सबरीमाला प्रकरण की सुनवाई, क्वेश्चन ऑफ लॉ से संबंधित अनेक महत्वपूर्ण मामलों के समयबद्ध निस्तारण हेतु न्यायाधीशों की संख्या बढ़ाने की तत्काल आवश्यकता महसूस की गई। इसी आवश्यकता को ध्यान में रखते हुए संविधान के आर्टिकल 123 के अंतर्गत ऑर्डिनेंस लागू करके संबंधित प्रावधान प्रभावी किए गए, जिन्हें विधिक स्वरूप प्रदान करने के लिए विधेयक सदन के समक्ष प्रस्तुत किया गया है। यह कदम जुडिशियल कैपेसिटी को और अधिक सुदृढ़ करेगा, मामलों के शीघ्र एवं प्रभावी निस्तारण में सहायक सिद्ध होगा तथा नागरिकों को समयबद्ध न्याय उपलब्ध कराने की दिशा में एक महत्वपूर्ण माइलस्टोन स्थापित करेगा। इसी लिमिटेड पर्पज के साथ ये विधेयक सदन के समक्ष विचार हेतु प्रस्तुत किया गया है। मुझे पूर्ण विश्वास है कि इस माननीय सदन के सभी सदस्य अपने बहुमूल्य विचार रखकर सर्वसम्मति से इस विधेयक को पारित करने में अपना महत्वपूर्ण दायित्व निभाएंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद जी। आप अपनी अपनी जगह में जाके बैठिए, आसीन हो जाइए। ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बिल है, इसके ऊपर आपको चर्चा करना चाहिए। आप चर्चा कीजिए, आप चर्चा में शामिल हो जाइए, आप चर्चा में शामिल हो जाइए। बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण बिल है। ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट का मामला है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट का मामला सबसे महत्वपूर्ण, सबसे बड़ा हमारे कोर्ट का, न्यायालय का ये विषय है। आप इसमें कृपया आप इसमें चर्चा लीजिएगा। बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट बिल है। अगर आप चर्चा नहीं लेना चाहते हैं तो अभी प्रश्न ये है कि स्वागत रॉय जी द्वारा प्रस्तुत संवैधानिक संकल्प को अस्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में है वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में है वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, ना वालों के पक्ष में हुआ। संवैधानिक संकल्प अस्वीकृत हुआ। माननीय सदस्यों, खंड 2 में श्री NK प्रेमचंद्रन जी, श्री सौगत राय जी, श्री विशाल पाटिल जी और श्री राजेश रंजन ने अपने अपने संविधान दिए हैं, संशोधन दिए हैं। वे कृपया अपनी सीटों पर चले जाएं यदि उनकी संशोधन प्रस्तुत करना है तो। प्रश्न यह है कि विधेयक पर विचार किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में है वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में है वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ। विधेयक पर विचार करने हेतु प्रस्ताव को स्वीकृत किया गया। अब सभा विधेयक पर खंडवार विचार करेगी। माननीय श्री NK प्रेमचंद्रन जी, संशोधन संख्या 1। प्रश्न ये है कि श्री NK प्रेमचंद्रन द्वारा प्रस्तुत संशोधन संख्या 1 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में है वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य इसके विरोध में है वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, ना वालों के पक्ष में हुआ। संशोधन अस्वीकृत हुआ। प्रश्न यह है कि खंड 2 और 3 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके विरोध में है वो ना कहें, जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में है वो हाँ कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में।
ये सदन, अगर आप प्रोटेस्ट करना चाहते हैं तो आप सीधा प्रोटेस्ट करें। आप माइक लेकर के इस तरह का मजाक नहीं करना चाहिए कि आप कोई बेवकूफ है क्या, हम लोग बच्चे हैं क्या। आप रूल का बात करते हैं, रूल का भी मजाक करते हैं। ये कोई प्लेटफॉर्म मजाक करने का है और बोलते हैं कि मैं उसी बिल में बोल रहा हूं और आपसे परमिशन लेकर के फिर माइक लेते हैं, फिर वो गलत बात बोलते हैं। और इस राज्यसभा में नेता प्रतिपक्ष को जितना मौका मिलता है, कभी भी पहले नेता प्रतिपक्ष को मौका मिला नहीं है। और बार बार ये बोल रहे कि यहाँ नेता प्रतिपक्ष से बोलने का मौका नहीं मिलता है। ये सिर्फ सरकार का विरोध का बात नहीं है, इस सदन के गरिमा को गिराने वाला बात कर रहे हैं लोग। ये बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है। मेरा अनुरोध है अजय माकन जी को, अभी आप 3 बार मौका दे चुके हैं, इसका अभी भाषण देने का कोई राइट नहीं है। इस तरह का नहीं कर सकते। मैं आपत्ति करता हूं। और झूठ बोल करके माइक को लेना, फिर एक्यूज करना और सदन को गिराने का बात किया है, सरकार के खिलाफ का मतलब नहीं है। ऐसा नहीं होता है।
माननीय सदस्यगण, मैंने 3 बार बुलाया माननीय अजय माकन जी को, मौका दिया पर वो विषय पर नहीं बोलना चाहते। मैं नेक्स्ट स्पीकर श्रीमती सुमित्रा बाल्मीकि से कहता हूं अपनी बात रखें।
बिल पर 2026 के समर्थन पर बोलने के लिए खड़ी हुई हूँ। महोदय, मैं पहले अपने प्रधानमंत्री माननीय यशस्वी नरेंद्र मोदी जी को हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ कि उन्होंने देश के आखिरी पायदान पर खड़े व्यक्ति, हमारे अंत्योदय, हमारी नारी शक्ति और हमारे अनुसूचित जाति जनजाति के वर्ग को देश की अर्थव्यवस्था से मुख्य धारा में जोड़ा है। महोदय, मैं कहना चाहती हूँ कि 2014 से पहले विकास में जो कागजी कार्रवाइयां होती थी, उनको यदि देखा जाए तो 2026 तक माननीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में देश में बड़ा बदलाव हुआ है। माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं भारत की भूमि
Parliament, but let's go ahead to another breaking news development that we are getting, and this is a shocking and heart-wrenching incident which has rocked Hailakandi district in Assam. A 15-year-old class 9 student was allegedly raped and brutally murdered at Aliachara village under Katlichera police station, about 40 kilometers from Hailakandi town. Now the deceased has been identified as Baby Das. Now the police have so far arrested 4 persons in connection with the case, and they have been identified also as Bikash Su, Dheeraj Das, Apu Malakar, Manoj Das, all of whom are adults. Now it is alleged that the accused lured the minor girl away from her home to a secluded location where she was sexually assaulted. Allegations emerged that after committing the crime, the accused repeatedly attacked the victim with pieces of brick on her head and other parts of the body in an attempt to destroy evidence. It is further alleged that they also inflicted grievous injuries on sensitive parts of her body with a sharp weapon before killing her. All right, viewers, Anirudh is live with us with all the latest updates. Anirudh, we're getting to know about this case. This is from Hailakandi, I guess this is from Silchar itself, where a 15-year-old was brutally raped and brutally murdered. Over to you for all the latest updates.
Yes, this is a horrific crime incident that has been reported from Hailakandi, where a minor girl who was a student of class 9 was brutally raped and later murdered. She was murdered in a very gruesome manner, and all the accused has been arrested as of now. It has been learned that the accused, tried to befool the police, saying that they were minor. But when medical examinations were done, then it came out that the accused, all the 4 accused in this case, are not minor. In fact, they are all adult, and as per the law prescribed, they are now being tried for the rape and murder of a minor girl in Hailakandi. The police has also informed that they have recovered weapons that were used in this crime, and due processes are being followed in this case, and the accused has been identified as Bikash Su, Dheeraj Das, Apu Malakar and Manas Das. These are the 4 accused who committed this gruesome crime. Shiva.
All right, Aniruddha, thanks a lot for all the developments. Keep a track of all the developments. We'll come back to you as more details emerge in the story. All right, so this was the case from Assam, from Silchar in Hailakandi. And these the visuals, the horrific the incident took place in Assam's Hailakandi in Silchar, where a 15-year-old girl was brutally gang raped, brutally murdered, and 4 people have been arrested for the crime, for the horrific crime that was committed by them. And this was a minor girl, nearly 15-year-old girl, who was brutally gang raped and murdered. And this has sparked outrage in Assam, especially in Silchar in Hailakandi, where this crime, this horrific crime took place. And Assam is the place where this gang rape happened, where a 15-year-old was brutally raped and murdered. 4 people have been arrested for the gang rape and murder of the 15-year-old. All right, viewers, at Republic, we won't just bring you all the national developments and the international breaking news developments, but our focus is also on the updates from the world of business. And I'm here with my Art Business team, who is joining me live in the studio for all the latest updates. So now, Pranav, I hand over to you for all the latest breaking news developments from the world of business. What's new?
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Shivam. In fact, we have an important story update that we've come to you. Days after the Ministry of Home Affairs actually highlighted serious security concerns, including that the app being used for unlawful activities such as radicalization, terrorism, and in fact riots, BitChat continues to be available for download for the Indian users. And not just that, in fact, 3 BitChat related links that the Home Ministry had asked GitHub, remember Jack Dorsey's startup, to take down have in fact not been removed and can be accessed online. I will be tossing it on to my colleague Karan, who will be taking us through the entire process as to how the apps continue to be available for download on Google Play Store and Apple App Store, because Republic actually did an internal investigation. We actually visited these sites, we actually visited these platforms and tried to download, and guess what? They were available for a download. Karan, could you just take us through what exactly happened when we actually accessed these platforms, parallelly while having the Home Ministry order in our hands, which said that there were certain issues with the apps?
Right, Pranav. Very exactly. Just like despite the Home Ministry order dated 23rd of July, the BitChat app remains very much available on both the Google Play Store as well as the Apple App Store. A user can simply go to the Google Play Store or the App Store, click on install or get, wait for the app to download, and start using it. There's no phone number registration which is required. There's no email verification that's required. There's no account creation that's required. More importantly, all the 3 URLs mentioned in the notice dated 23rd of July continue to be operational. So as things stand today, both the BitChat app as well as the 3 URLs mentioned in the notice dated 23rd July are operational and users can easily access them.
Now, the Indian government has also faced a lot of legal hurdles in curbing BitChat. This has become a sort of decentralized platform. It is also interesting to note that Republic itself has tried to reach out to the Ministry of Home Affairs. We have also tried to speak to Google about what is going to be the future implication of this apps. What is going to be the entire situation with this particular app? When is it going to be taken down? And we are yet to hear from both these platforms. We are yet to get a solid, foolproof response on this. To further help us elaborate on this, I'll toss it to now Pranav, who could help us get a detailed analysis of what BitChat stands at.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Rishita. In fact, isn't it? I mean, we had the Home Ministry document. The CJP protests were going on, and that is precisely the time when Jack Dorsey, in fact, pushed out that particular document, which highlighted several concerns regarding these apps. And as Karan, in fact, rightly said, these apps have the primary architecture of these apps is such that they can bypass the cross checks or the so to say the government related regulations and continue to make chats and communication available, unmonitored communication available to individuals via a Bluetooth mesh networking. Now, this in fact open source architecture is what makes conventional takedowns nearly impossible, is what in fact the I4C had in fact suggested. Karan, would you just like to take us through what has the I4C letter highlighted, some of the concerns that the I4C letter had highlighted?
Well, yeah, Pranav. So basically the I4C letter specifically, which is the notice, specifically mentioned that the apps could be misused for reasons such as threats to national security, terrorism, criminal activities, highlighting that the apps defy any tracking mechanism. So basically, just like you rightly mentioned, the app is designed for anonymity. The agencies or the government at any point of time cannot actually track who is using the app, who's the user, who's sending the message to whom. And specifically, while the notice did not say that they were guilty of any of these acts, the notice clearly mentioned that the apps are of a nature which could be misused for reasons such as threats to national security, criminal activities, terrorism, etc. And since the apps have a potential to be misused for any of these purposes, given the situation,
absolutely, Karan. In fact, we've written to Google, we've written to Apple as well as the MHA, and as soon as we get responses, we will be updating our viewers on Republic Business. Well, Shivam, that's the breaking story that we had from Republic Business.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for all the updates. All right, we have another big breaking news development. Now let's go across to the other breaking developments coming in from the country, where we have another news of case of pothole death today. This is the second pothole death case, and this is from Thane, where a Thane fire brigade official was killed due to a pothole accident at the highway in Thane, and he was killed because of the pothole. And this is the second such case from today, where a second person was killed. He died, another life claimed due to potholes on the road. This is the second case of a pothole death that has emerged from Maharashtra this morning. And a Thane district fire brigade official lost his life after his two-wheeler slipped from that location and slipped from the pothole, and the official is identified as Vikas Gore. The incident occurred on the Mumbai-Nashik highway, and when Vikas was heading towards his duty, his two-wheeler slipped due to pothole on the road. After slipping from the bike, he banged on the divider and was severely injured. The locals rushed him to the nearby hospital, but during the treatment, he lost his life. So this is another case, second case of pothole death, and this is the second case of a pothole death which has emerged from Maharashtra itself, from Thane itself. And a Thane district fire brigade official lost his life after his two-wheeler slipped because of the pothole. The official is identified as Vikas Gore, and he slipped because of the pothole. And the incident occurred on the Mumbai-Nashik highway, and Vikas was heading towards his duty, and his two-wheeler slipped because of the pothole on the road, and he was hit by a divider, and he was severely injured. And the locals rushed him to the nearby hospital, but during the treatment, he lost his life. So this is the big development that we are getting from Thane. Another case of civic apathy, crumbling civic infra, which has claimed yet another life where another person was killed because of this. All right, viewers, it's time to slip into a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere because we have a lot more lined up coming up after the break. A pothole accident claims life of a woman in Thane, Bhiwandi. She dies after a two-wheeler skids into the truck.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say Modi ji clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
आपको समझ ना आए तो आप घर जाके गूगल पे आप सर्च कर लेना, ये क्या नारा है। वो नारा देते थे वास्ते गुने हुइयां, और वो नारा देते थे इतने प्यार से, इतनी खूबसूरत तरीके से इस्तीफा मांगते थे। कहते थे जब आपसे इस्तीफा भी मांगते थे तो कहते थे कुचू पुचू इस्तीफा दे दो, आज हमारा जन्मदिन है।
विपक्ष के आंदोलन को एक समराइज करना चाहूंगा मैं जेनजी के भाषा में। 37 दिन तक तो ये जंतर मंतर नहीं गए, तो इनको MIA हो गया। MIA क्या है? MIA मिसिंग इन एक्शन। तो 37 दिन तक हमने कुछ नहीं किया, तो कुछ तो करना चाहिए। जंतर मंतर तो नहीं जा सकते, तो हम जाते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी के आवास के सामने और वहां पर जाके आंदोलन करते हैं।
So these are the three categories. student, idiot, and andhbhakt who follows the idiot. Now,
प्रश्न है कि खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ। खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बना। प्रश्न ये कि खंड 1 अधिनियम सूत्र और विधेयक का पूरा नाम विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ।
जिन लोगों ने विद्यार्थियों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ किया, वे जेलों में सड़ रहे हैं। हमने फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट बना।
अध्यक्ष जी, जहां पर कांग्रेस शासित यूपीए ने पॉलिसी वैक्यूम करा, वहीं पर अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say Modi ji clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
Time to slip into a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere. Coming up next, aspirants hold Mashal March in Jharkhand over exam irregularities in 14 Jharkhand public service exams. Aspirants demand CBI probe.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi and National Law School Bengaluru.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा प्योर मसाला।
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized, but you know we got to smack them a little bit.
The United States has launched airstrikes on Iran hours after President Donald Trump warned Tehran of a strong military response. The strikes mark the first major American attack since Trump paused the bombing campaign last week. Trump had earlier vowed to hit Iran very hard after an Iranian missile attack on an American base in Jordan. Within hours, US forces launched retaliatory strikes, escalating tensions across the Middle East.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized, but you know we got to smack them a little bit. Yeah, I think more so that, yeah, because it was another smaller event. But no, they sent 8,000-mile-an-hour missiles at us, and fortunately we had our people operating the greatest equipment in the world, namely the Patriot system. Think of it, 5 missiles going 8,600 miles an hour, big ones, coming right at us, and all 5 were shot down. How about that, right? Pretty good. Nobody else could do that but us, yeah.
US forces began launching strikes against Iran at 8 p.m. ET today. The strikes are a powerful response to yesterday's attempted Iranian attacks on US forces based in the Middle East. The escalation comes after Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed responsibility for a missile attack on a US airbase and command center in Jordan. The US military says all the missiles were
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Parliamentary panel to hold meeting to discuss social media regulation. Google, Meta and X to appear before the panel. Aspirants hold Mashal March in Jharkhand over exam irregularities in the 14th Jharkhand Public Service exams. Aspirants demand CBI probe. Pothole accident claims woman's life in Bhiwandi. Thane woman dies after two-wheeler skids into truck. Pakistan's failed Field Marshal Asim Munir's army opens fire on peaceful protesters in POJK's Rawalakot. And communal violence breaks out in Nepal after clashes between two communities. Curfew imposed in several districts. Good afternoon, you're watching Republic TV and I'm Lok Sabha with you. Let's start with what's happening in Jharkhand, viewers. It's a massive student agitation that we are now witnessing in Jharkhand, and it has now entered its 10th straight day. The protesters are demanding the resignation of Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren. Congress, meanwhile, remains a mute spectator while they were out in the open to support the CJP-led protest in Delhi. Now, double standards of this CJP and the opposition parties are yet again exposed. This time in Jharkhand, we see that there are demands for resignation over the incessant irregularities in recruitment tests, state recruitment tests, and there have been paper leaks also. All right, we have Veerbhadra joining us live on the broadcast from Ranchi. वीरभद्र, हम बताएं कि क्या कुछ अभी सामने आ रहा है, जो कि 10 दिन हो गए हैं और जो ये प्रोटेस्ट, ये जो विरोध प्रदर्शन है वो और भी बड़ा होता जा रहा है। यहाँ तक कि हम देख रहे हैं कि जो विपक्षी दल हैं, जो अगर हम कांग्रेस की बात करें, वो अभी तक चुप्पी साधे हुई हैं।
जी, आवाज आ रही है?
जी 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 बिल्कुल
जी। जिस तरीके से यहाँ पर झारखंड में जो ये प्रोटेस्ट चल रहा है स्टूडेंट के द्वारा, इस पर जो है सरकार की तरफ से अभी कोई प्रतिक्रिया नहीं आई है, जबकि लगातार जो है ये 10वां दिन है जिसमें जो है छात्र प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं। लगातार उनके आर्थिक स्थितियों को लेकर जो उनका जो इकोनॉमिक तौर पर जो सपोर्ट की बात है, तो उसमें भी जो है वो लोग आपस में एक दूसरे से जो है मदद करके, और कुछ स्थानीय लोग उसमें मदद कर रहे हैं, लेकिन सरकार की तरफ से जो है इस पर अभी तक कोई प्रतिक्रिया नहीं आई है। छात्रों की ये मांग है कि जिस तरीके से ये लगातार इस तरह की स्थितियां बनी हुई है, पेपर लीक का जो मामला है उसमें, और जो जांच अभी तक जो है झारखंड सरकार के द्वारा जो करवाई जा रही है, तो उसमें भी जो है कहीं ना कहीं वो जांच सही पाई जा रही है, और उसमें जो है जेन्युइन तौर पर जो है भ्रष्टाचार का मामला दिख रहा है। तो इस तरीके से छात्रों का ये कहना है कि हम लोग इसी से संतुष्ट नहीं है। जो झारखंड सरकार है उसके द्वारा जो है इस जांच से जो है, चूंकि उनका मानना है कि ये जो है एक तरह से खाना पूर्ति है, और इसमें जो है जो बड़े बड़े मछली हैं उनको बचाने का कोशिश किया जा रहा है, छोटे मछली को फंसा करके। तो इस तरीके से जो है इन लोगों का कहना है कि जब तक इस मामले की जो है सीबीआई जांच नहीं होती है, और इस पर जब तक कोई पुख्ता निर्णय नहीं लिया जाता है, और सरकार के द्वारा कोई ठोस कदम जब तक नहीं उठाया जाता है, तब तक ये जो धरना प्रदर्शन है और ये सत्याग्रह जो है लगातार बढ़ती जाएगी, और इसमें छात्रों की संख्या भी लगातार बढ़ती जा रही है। अलग अलग जिलों से जो है छात्र यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं।
बिल्कुल, और यहाँ तक कि हम देख रहे हैं जो ये तमाम स्टूडेंट्स हैं, जो तमाम छात्र हैं, वो ये भी कह रहे हैं कि ऐलान कर रहे हैं कि अगर उनकी मांगों को नहीं पूरा किया जाता है तो वो असेंबली तक भी, विधानसभा तक भी जाएंगे मार्च करते हुए, और यहाँ तक कि उन्होंने कहा है कि वो पूरा घेराव करेंगे झारखंड असेंबली का।
ये बिल्कुल ही बिल्कुल
जी।
बिल्कुल, ये जो है लगातार इन लोगों की जो ये धरना प्रदर्शन है, ये कहीं ना कहीं एक बड़ा रूप ले रहा है। और यहाँ पर जिस तरीके से अलग अलग झारखंड के अलग अलग जिलों से जो है छात्र यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं, वो विधानसभा घेराव की भी बात कर रहे हैं। और उन लोगों ने अपना जो है एक तरह से वो कह रहे हैं कि हम सत्याग्रह के तौर पर जो है इस चीज को हम लोग चाह रहे हैं कि शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से जो है हमारी मांगों को जो है सरकार मान ले। और अगर ऐसा नहीं होता है तो ये जो प्रदर्शन है और भी उग्र होता जाएगा और छात्रों की संख्या भी लगातार जो है बढ़ती ही जाएगी।
तो कांग्रेस जैसे जो दल है उनका क्या कहना है, उनकी क्या कोई प्रतिक्रिया आई, जो कि वो काफी ज्यादा मुखर होकर सामने आए जब बात आई दिल्ली में, जब धर्मेंद्र प्रधान का इस्तीफा मांगा जा रहा था। लेकिन इस दफा जब झारखंड में हेमंत सोरेन के इस्तीफे की बात चल रही है, तो इसमें कांग्रेस की तरफ से क्या प्रतिक्रिया आई है? All right, there seems to be some problem with that audio, but in the meantime, we thank Veerbhadra for joining us. We will continue to get more details. Republic TV is the only channel who's getting you all the latest coming in from Jharkhand and raising those questions and exposing the double standards of the different political parties, viewers who've backed anarchy, but they, when it comes to the real cause for the students, is then when they stay silent. And now shifting focus, viewers, Pappu Yadav been in the news recently in the last few days, hurting Hindu sentiments with that abhorrent skit in the Parliament complex. Now, viewers, demands are growing for Pappu Yadav and Rahul Gandhi to apologize for hurting Hindu sentiments. Now, Hindu groups are raising questions and they are saying that it is unacceptable that the sentiments of the Hindus are played with. There is massive outrage now and demands for apologies from Sadhu Yadav and Rahul Gandhi. There's a complaint also against them, and now Hindu groups are coming together and raising the questions, raising a demand for apology from Pappu Yadav and Rahul Gandhi for hurting the sentiments of the Hindus with this is the so-called skit which they did in the name of sending a message across on Ram Mandir donation row. Dressed in saffron, we see Sadhu Yadav there, runs away with the money that is donated. These are the same who never, of course, visited the Ram temple. All right, we have some more breaking news coming in right now from the Mumbai viewers, and halfway through the counting, it's Prashant Kishore who's leading by 9,581 votes. Prashant Kishore maintaining 9,581 vote lead after 17 rounds in Bankipur, and this is the latest update we're getting in right now. That's the update we have right now from Bihar. And Prashant Kishore is right now leading this by poll, Bankipur. Prakash is joining us on the phone line for more. Prakash, as we see that the counting is still underway, we see halfway through the counting that Prashant Kishore is leading from Bankipur.
Well, 17 rounds has gone, counting done. Prashant Kishore is leading by more than 9,500 votes, and if this is the trend, Prashant Kishore is surely to win by more than 20.
And Prashant Kishore is surely to win by more than 20,000 votes because the minority are still to be counted, and this is in a way referendum for the BJP. And Prashant Kishore had set a narrative of one Kutta Billi candidate, meaning thereby he alleges that the BJP leaders have said that they will field any Kutta Billi and that candidate will win. So liked by the voters. And second, it is a by-election. He got the advantage of the by-election because it does not have any bearings on the government. So Prashant Kishore has been traveling in every part of the past 4 years, and the people thought that let's try him. And the narrative was set that he's an educated person against the BJP candidate who was a very weak and docile candidate who could not speak as well. So BJP got complacent, and the high-headed attitude of the BJP also was kept under control and check by the voters of the Bakipur, which is said to be the stronghold of the BJP, and it is the urban voter. And third is that it is a huge dent for the BJP as well as the RJD, because Prashant Kishore made a dent into both the vote banks, and now he's emerged victorious, meaning thereby it may set a new political realignment in the future because of Tejasvi's non-serious approach. All said and done, but by-polls are never a reflection of the future politics. We have seen in the past that people have won the by-elections, but they have lost in the General Assembly elections, or because good template and the issues are different, because at that point in time it turns out to be a presidential election, as it happens in the case of Prime Minister Narendra Modi or any other candidate at the state level. So
right, right, Prashant. All right, Prashant, there's some network problem, but thank you so much for putting it out there, the update and the significance of this, as Prashant Kishore there denting the vote banks of BJP, RJD both, and right now he could be just on his way to the first win for the Jan Suraj party in Bihar with this by-vote. Now we have breaking news coming in. Pakistan has blocked access to a foreign media's reportage from POJK. There you have Pakistan's playbook of blacking out its own atrocities. Is that it is now denying access to global media following the reporting on the elections, the fake elections and the human rights violations in POJK. Now, a special advisory has also been issued for international media representatives, saying that foreign media personnel can only visit places other than Lahore, Karachi and Islamabad for reporting purposes if they have obtained an NOC from the government in accordance with the guidelines of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting of Pakistan. So that's another update we have right now. Pakistan blocking foreign media's reportage from POJK. We've already seen that there have been double standards as far as the international media's coverage is concerned, and if at all there have been the violations were such that we saw many of them could not, of course, completely black out the coverage, but now they have even blocked Al Jazeera. And that is how Pakistan is censoring what is happening in POJK. Pakistan is censoring global media, filtering media access, denying media coverage in POJK because its real face is exposed with that. All right, now it was a suicide bombing occurred on outside a station in Swat district of Kabul, that is in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa of Pakistan. The attacker targeted a crowd at an anti-militancy protest, a peace rally. At least 14 people were killed and more than 20 have been wounded in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Now, TTP-linked accounts have claimed responsibility and circulated material about the attacker. Claims that the bomber was a resident of Dobando originate from those accounts. Independent confirmation of the individual's identity or place of origin have not been appearing in the mainstream reporting viewers. But this is you've seen that there's an increase in the tensions in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa given the activities of the TTP. And Swat has been largely cleared of the group after 2009 military operation. But this attack raises those questions about a renewed attempt to re-establish a presence in the Swat Valley. And you have this visual of the suicide bomb attack in Pakistan's Swat Valley, that is in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. This happened outside a police station in Swat. At least 14 have been killed. This is the moment when the suicide bomber attacked the peace rally in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The blast took place at a crowded intersection near a police station in Swat during a civil society protest. And dozens of people were chanting slogans and demanding peace when this happened. And authorities fighting a growing insurgency by the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, that is the TTP. And we have the video of that, which causes terror. This is from a rally in Kabul, a town in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, where demonstrators were chanting slogans and demanding peace. All right, my colleague Zeenat is joining us live on the broadcast for more. Zeenat, well, we see that the TTP's activities are only increasing now in Swat. We see a re-emergence of its presence in the Swat Valley, and this is a suicide bomb attack during a rally. All right, we'll just reconnect with Zeenat there. There seems to be a problem with the network, but there you have the visual of that moment when the suicide bomb attack happened in Kabul of Swat Valley in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Now shifting our focus, viewers, massive fire broke out at a major logistics warehouse in China's Shandong, sending huge plumes of black smoke and towering flames into the sky. Now emergency response teams rushed to the site, and firefighting operations are underway to control the blaze. Authorities have so far reported no casualties, while efforts continue to fully contain the fire and assess the extent of the damage.
Massive flames engulf a major logistic warehouse in Shandong, China. Thick black smoke billowed into the sky as the intense blaze spread across the industrial facility. The warehouse, described as a key supply chain site, caught fire on August 2nd, with emergency teams rushing to the spot. Firefighters battled the raging flames for hours as efforts continued to bring the situation under control. Authorities have so far reported no casualties or injuries from the incident. Visuals from the scene showed a massive smoke cloud covering the surrounding industrial area. Emergency response teams remain deployed as investigations into the cause of the fire are underway.
All right, viewers, now we have a super exclusive input coming in. Now, Republic TV has spoken to Pappu Yadav on the controversy that has erupted over his antics, anti-Hindu skit in the Parliament complex. And now we have also accessed the medical report of the attacker, because he was attacked during the press conference last evening. And his the medical report of the attacker confirms alcohol intoxication. The medical legal case report of Sumit, the man accused of attacking MP Pappu Yadav, has confirmed that he was under the influence of alcohol at the time of the incident. The MLC was prepared at the medical report was prepared at the RML hospital, expected to play a crucial role in establishing that Sumit allegedly attacked. Sumit did attack Pappu Yadav while he was intoxicated. Pappu Yadav's personal assistant has also submitted a complaint seeking the addition of an attempt to murder charge against Sumit. And my colleague Atul is joining us on the broadcast for more. Now, while the Delhi police has registered an FIR, we are understanding now that the attacker was in an inebriated state. Atul, what more details do you have with us?
Well, we have accessed the MLC report of accused Sumit, and in the MLC report, the doctor has clearly written that he was in an inebriated condition. There were alcohol found in his blood. He was highly drunk, and when he attacked Pappu Yadav, he was drunk, and it has been mentioned in the MLC report. An FIR has been filed against him and his associate. Both came to at the house of Pappu Yadav and they hurled slippers. Pappu Yadav also claimed that the attacker was having a knife. However, the Delhi police has said that as of now they did not recover any knife from his possession. Based on the complaint which was filed by the PA of Pappu Yadav, the Delhi police has lodged an FIR, but the MLC report has proven that he was highly drunk, he was in an inebriated condition. We have accessed this MLC report.
All right. And any information as to who this individual is? Why did he go there? Has he recorded? Has there been any statement recorded? Is he associated with any group? What more details do you have about Sumit?
Well, at the time of the incident, he was not able to speak to anyone because he was highly drunk. But yes, police have found that he was angry with Pappu Yadav because Pappu Yadav staged a protest inside Parliament, and Pappu Yadav was playing a role of sage, in which Pappu Yadav was claiming that he is a sage and he is stealing donation money of Ram Temple. He was staging a protest against the Chanda Chori issue. The attacker Sumit was angry because he was saying that Pappu Yadav, while staging a protest, was accusing the sadhu sants of this country, and therefore he wanted to attack him.
All right. Thanks so much, Atul, for joining us with details coming in on that story. Viewers, now this is the latest update that we have on the attack during the press conference that happened last evening on Pappu Yadav. And now we're getting to know more details about the medical report that has been filed or that has been now accessed by Republic TV. In fact, Manav, my colleague, also spoke to Pappu Yadav on the matter. Listen to what he said.
सांसद पप्पू यादव के आवास पर मौजूद हूं और मेरे पीछे जो आप लॉन देख रहे हैं और जिस लॉन में मैं खड़ा हूं, यहीं पर भारी बवाल देखने को मिला। रविवार को मारपीट की नौबत आ गई। पप्पू यादव खुद बीच बचाव कर रहे थे, हाथ में उनके चाकू दिखाई दिया, जूते चप्पल तक यहां पर चल गए। क्या कुछ हुआ और अब आगे उस पर पप्पू यादव क्या सोचते हैं, ये सारी जानकारी देने के लिए खुद हमारे साथ सांसद जी जुड़ रहे हैं। इस लॉन में रविवार को हाई वोल्टेज ड्रामा हो रहा था, आपके हाथ में चाकू था, लोग चप्पल फेंक रहे हैं, आपने साधु का भेष बनाया तो लोग नाराज हो गए।
अच्छा, एक बात बताइए, घर के भीतर हाई वोल्टेज ड्रामा क्या होगा? बाहर से मेरे घर के भीतर कोई लोग आके मारेंगे, कोई चप्पल फेंकेंगे घर के भीतर, ये कौन सी संस्कृति है? और इस देश में कुछ अब सोचा भी जा सकता है क्या? यदि कोई भी पॉजिटिव सकारात्मक चीज सोचोगे तो मारे जाओगे। ये जो कल हमला किए, ये तो आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के साथ इनकी तस्वीर है, पाठक जी के साथ तस्वीर है, ये मंडल अध्यक्ष है, इनका क्या दोष? इनको तो कोई भेजा होगा। सारे कालनेमी संत कहते हैं कि पप्पू यादव को जिंदा जला देंगे, या जो मारेगा 51 लाख रुपया देंगे, कोई कह रहा है 50 लाख देंगे, कोई कह रहा है 11 लाख देंगे। तो मारो आप, हम क्या कर सकते हैं? लेकिन मेरे परिवार और मेरे बच्चे को बकस दो।
तो कौन लोग हैं जो पप्पू यादव की जान के दुश्मन बने हुए हैं?
अच्छा, एक बात बताइए, हनुमान जी को नचाए, गुड्डी उड़ाए, शंकराचार्य जी पर हमला किए, केदारनाथ बद्रीनाथ में अभी सोना का मुकुट एक कालनेमी संत से पकड़ाया, चंपत राय 200 केजी सोना, चांदी सिंधी का और एक रामायण का सोना का सब गायब कर दिया। गोविंद गिरी।
देखो पप्पू जी, देखो आप तर्क रखेंगे तो मैं तर्क पे बात करूंगा। वो तो तस्वीरें सामने आ चुकी हैं और ये तो मंदिर ट्रस्ट ने भी कहा कि जो चांदी थी वो मिल गई है। आपने साधु का भेष बनाया।
भैया कहाँ मिल गई?
बिल्कुल बाकायदा पत्र जारी किया गया था।
तो समझ में नहीं आता। सिंधी परिवार अपना आज तक मांगता रहा 2 सालों से कि हमको रसीद दे दो, नहीं दिया, और सोना का रामायण अभी तक नहीं पता है। क्या बात आप कर रहे हो? मेरा वो सवाल नहीं है। मेरा सवाल है कि सभी विपक्ष के नेता, राहुल जी, अखिलेश जी, प्रियंका गांधी, सभी नेता लगातार इस देश के आस्था के साथ खिलवाड़ करने वाले और जनता के विश्वासघात करने वालों की अब आवाज उठा रहे हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री। इतने तो सवाल था। मैंने उसको गोविंद गिरी के काल नियमित तरीके को मैं रूपांतरण किया, और मैंने कोई गुनाह तो मैंने किसी को गाली नहीं दी, मैं किसी संत का नाम नहीं लिया, ना मैंने संत के बारे में कहा। मैंने एक तरीका अपनाया कि मंदिर चोरी के पैसे कहाँ हैं, 3,300 करोड़ है तो कहाँ है।
All right, we continue to bring you more details right now. It's time for a very, very short break, but don't go anywhere. We bring you what's happening in Jharkhand as the students continue to protest. The Mashal March in Ranchi and other areas of Jharkhand continue as they demand accountability over exam regularities in 14th Jharkhand Public Service Examination. They demand CBI probe and the resignation of Hemant Soren.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
प्योर मसाला।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जल जीरा, जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say मोदी जी clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
आपको समझ ना आए तो आप घर जाके गूगल पे आप सर्च कर लेना, ये क्या नारा है। वो नारा देते थे वास्ते गुने हुइयां, और वो नारा देते थे इतने प्यार से, इतनी खूबसूरत तरीके से इस्तीफा मांगते थे। कहते थे जब आपसे इस्तीफा भी मांगते थे तो कहते थे कुचू पुचू इस्तीफा दे दो, आज हमारा जन्मदिन है।
विपक्ष के आंदोलन को एक समराइज करना चाहूंगा मैं जेनजी के भाषा में। 37 दिन तक तो ये जंतर मंतर नहीं गए, तो इनको MIA हो गया। MIA क्या है? MIA मिसिंग इन एक्शन। तो 37 दिन तक हमने कुछ नहीं किया, तो कुछ तो करना चाहिए। जंतर मंतर तो नहीं जा सकते, तो हम जाते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी के आवास के सामने और वहां पर जाके आंदोलन करते हैं।
So these are the three categories: student, idiot, and andhbhakt who follows the idiot. Now,
प्रश्न है कि खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ। खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बना। प्रश्न ये कि खंड 1 अधिनियम सूत्र और विधेयक का पूरा नाम विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ।
जिन लोगों ने विद्यार्थियों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ किया, वे जेलों में सड़ रहे हैं। हमने मास रिकॉर्ड बना।
अध्यक्ष जी, जहां पर कांग्रेस शासित यूपीए ने पॉलिसी वैक्यूम करा, वहीं पर अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say मोदी जी clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
जेनजी की भाषा में मैं, अरे सुनो यार,
समाप्त करें।
सुनने की आदत रखो। जेनजी
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore.
finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized. But, you know, we got to smack them a little bit.
The United States has launched airstrikes on Iran hours after President Donald Trump warned Tehran of a strong military response. The strikes mark the first major American attack since Trump paused the bombing campaign last week.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello viewers, a very good evening, good afternoon to you, and you're watching Republic. I'm Chongtham Amrita, and today the biggest story of the day we're tracking is the violence in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir as Pakistani army continues to open fire against civilians even as protesters march continue to reach Islamabad and Rawalpindi. These are some of the top stories that we're tracking on Republic today, but first take a look at the headlines.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Parliamentary panel to hold meeting and discuss social media regulation. Google, Meta and X to appear before the panel. Pothole accident claims woman's life in Bhiwandi, Thane, Mumbai. Woman dies after two-wheeler skids into the truck. Pothole accident claims woman's life in Bhiwandi, Thane. Woman dies after two-wheeler skids into truck. Pakistan's failed Field Marshal Asim Munir's army opens fire on peaceful protesters in POJ case, Rawalkot. Communal violence breaks out in Nepal after clashes between two communities. Curfew imposed in several districts. Viewers, over the Kaveri River dispute case between the two states, Tamil Nadu government has filed a case in the Supreme Court over Kaveri water dispute. Now questions the Karnataka government in releasing only 550 TMC water per second instead of the 3,500 TMC water per second. The government also releases official press release saying that Tamil Nadu government will fight against Karnataka over the Kaveri water dispute. The water dispute between the two states is escalating as Tamil Nadu government moves to the Supreme Court over the removal of a reduced amount of water over Tamil Nadu. This as Tamil Nadu has questioned Karnataka for releasing only 550 TMC per second of the Kaveri water instead of the 3,500 TMC as promised. I'm now joined by my colleague Sharda to give us more information on this. Sharda, this dispute between the two states is escalating. The Tamil Nadu government has now moved to Supreme Court over the release, saying that it's much less as amount to what 3,500 TMC that has been given by the court for Karnataka to release that much amount of water. And now with the 550 TMC release per second, the Tamil Nadu government is going to the Supreme Court. We see this dispute is continuing to escalate even after an all-party meeting that was called yesterday by the Karnataka Chief Minister. Give us more details on this.
Well, Amrita, the TVK government initially stated that they will be moving the Supreme Court if the water is not allowed. It was only just yesterday that the Karnataka government, after the all-party meet, decided to open the Kaveri waters for Tamil Nadu. And today, out of what the Kaveri Water Management Association had said, only 550 of the 1,350 TMC water that should be sent has been opened. So now the TVK government has officially moved the Supreme Court. Earlier, the DMK did it on Saturday evening, asking the Supreme Court to intervene in this, as the Karnataka government is not listening to the Kaveri Water Management Association. So now the state government of Tamil Nadu has moved the Supreme Court, asking to interfere in this matter because the Karnataka has completely declined the orders given by the Kaveri Water Management Association to remove the water for the Tamil Nadu. Meanwhile, the Mekadatu Dam issue continues and the war between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka over the Kaveri continues. We saw today DMK and multiple farmers protesting in Tanjavur district, the Delta region, where the Kaveri water does flow in through the borders of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, Amrita.
In fact, we will continue to track how it unfolds as the water dispute continue to escalate between the two states. Thank you so much for joining us on this, Sharda. And now, viewers, we move on to another major story that's unfolding in Nepal. Now, several towns in southern Nepal remain on edge after days of communal violence in Nepal. This is becoming between two communities. Now, it began last week after a dispute over an annual Hindu procession in Sunsari district near the Indian border. Now, curfew have been imposed in southern Nepal city after the violent protests escalated. The notice also warned that violators could be shot by security forces. Take a look at some of these visuals coming in from Nepal as the communal violence continue to escalate in Nepal in Sunsari district, and a curfew have also been imposed in the district. This has been escalating for the past few days as well. In fact, Republic spoke to the former Chief Minister from Nepal as well. Let's listen to the conversation that was done earlier with Republic.
Some days before in Sunsari district, there has been a kind of violence was erupted there between two communities, particularly Hindu community and Muslim community, and it was flaring up, particularly in the Tarai region in some districts. But all political parties in Nepal address this by publishing their statement one after another. Then slowly and gradually the situation is coming down, and a new situation is coming up. The administration also becoming more serious, particularly the government, present government, actually did not take this issue seriously in the beginning, but now it's taking more seriously. That's why the situation is calming down now.
Right. Charanath Kanal, if you could also describe to us what is the situation looking like in Nepal particularly. We understand that curfew has been imposed in multiple areas. What is the government there trying to really do? They're imposing curfews, but the response which came in from the current Prime Minister was also quite delayed. It came in at a time